Chapter 1877. Yang Hongwu also had his own thoughts. The reason why he agreed to give Immortal Tao, Lord a physical body, was to prevent Zhige from focusing on him. If he obtained the Immortal God Talisman, he would definitely be noticed by Zhige. However, if Immortal Tao Lord was resurrected, this would cause Zhige to focus his attention on Tao Lord Deathless. Of course, this also included the experts in the sky-reaching land. After all, there were countless experts in the sky-reaching land. There were countless experts at the sovereign level. If these guys targeted him, it would be a problem. With Immortal Tao Lord around, he would definitely share some of the pressure. This thing should be able to condense a physical body for Tao Lord, right? At this moment, Yang Hongwu waved his hand and condensed a mass of spiritual energy. This mass of spiritual energy contained boundless vitality. Creation Chi. This is Creation Chi. Immortal Tao Lord's eyes widened when he saw Yang Hongwu's mass of spiritual energy. At his level, it was very difficult to condense a physical body. Coupled with the Immortal God Talisman, an ordinary physical body wouldn't be able to withstand the impact of the terrifying power. The possibility of possession wasn't high either. However, this massive creation Chi could perfectly dissolve the power of the Immortal God Talisman and condense a physical body for him. Moreover, the condensed, new physical body would be extraordinary. Although it wouldn't be a true creation body and couldn't be compared to his original physical body, it wouldn't be too far off. Yes, this is Creation Chi. This Creation Chi is useless to ordinary people. However, it can be used to condense a physical body for Tao Lord and remove the immortal power. Yang Hongwu said, "Thank you." Immortal Tao Lord turned into a ray of light and entered the mass of Creation Chi. Then, the mass of Creation Chi wriggled and condensed into a physical body. This was Immortal Tao Lord. At this moment, Immortal Tao Lord's strength had decreased significantly after condensing a physical body. He was only at the Emperor realm. However, Immortal Tao Lord was overjoyed. His cultivation base could be restored, but it wasn't easy to obtain such a physical body. Thank you, little brother. If it wasn't for you, I don't know how much longer this remnant soul of mine would be able to struggle at death's door. Undying Tao Lord bowed towards Yang Hongwu. He was extremely grateful. He wasn't putting on an act. He was truly grateful. Tao Lord, there's no need for this. This is what I should do. Tao Lord, you've given me the greatest benefit by allowing me to obtain the undying steel. Yang Hongwu said, compared to the immortal steel, this fortune Chi is nothing. Although Yang Hongwu felt the pinch, it was all worth it. Haha, you can't say it like that. That immortal steel is already useless to me. Exchanging a useless immortal steel for a new life is still a profit for me. Tao Lord Undying laughed out loud. In the future, if you have any problems, you can look for me. I'll definitely help you. Tao Lord, there's no need for this. It's just that there's too little fortune Chi. I'm afraid I can't do anything to your clansmen, Yang Hongwu said. There's no need to trouble you about this. Tao Lord Undying waved his hand and said, I have my ways to deal with them. Having a physical body was equivalent to a new life. He originally thought that he would dissipate after tens of thousands of years and become nutrients for the immortal steel. He never expected that Yang Hongwu would actually give him a new life. As for his clansmen, it wouldn't be difficult to resurrect them. After all, he was the only one who couldn't be resurrected because of the immortal steel or the immortal talisman. As for the others, as long as they left this space, it wouldn't be difficult for them to be resurrected. Tao Lord, I have a question. I wonder if you can answer it for me. Yang Hongwu looked at Tao Lord Undying and asked. What he wanted to know was Tao Lord of the Immortality and Zhige. Given Tao Lord of the Immortality's cultivation, he shouldn't have been trapped under the sky-reaching land. After all, this was the Zhige Divine Palace. As a Tao Lord of the Immortality was extremely powerful and wouldn't easily enter the inner world of others. Once he entered, how could Zhige let him go so easily? Yang Hongwu also didn't believe that Zhige would give up a supreme treasure like the immortal talisman. Could it be that Ji Gu suppressed Tao, Lord Undying here, in order to seize the immortal talisman? That didn't seem very likely. Given Ji Ji's strength, if he knew that the immortal steel was here and wanted to seize it, Tao Lord Undying wouldn't be able to protect it. After all, Tao Lord Undying was already dead, and only a wisp of his soul was left. I knew that you would ask me. I didn't expect you to hold back until now. Tao Lord Undying sighed. In fact, the sky-reaching land wasn't originally in the Zhiga Divine Palace. It was taken in by Zhiga later. When it was taken in, I was already sealed in the sky-reaching land. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have lived until now, and the immortal steel would have fallen into Zhiji's hands. In fact, if the Undying Tao Lord was willing, he could let Zhiga know about it. However, the Undying Tao Lord wasn't stupid. Once Zhiga found out about it, it would be the Undying Tao Lord's death after Zhigu obtained the Undying Steel. Now that I have the immortal steel, can I hide it from Zhiji's eyes? Yang Hongwu asked again. An expert like Zhigu was too terrifying. Now, he was in Zhiji's inner world, and he had yet to refine the immortal steel completely. Ordinary Sovereign Realm experts wouldn't be able to tell that he had the immortal steel, but Zhigu was different. If Zhigu found out about it, he would be doomed. If Zhigu really wanted to seize the immortal steel, he didn't have the slightest confidence. Now that the immortal steel has recognized you as its master, Zhigu won't disregard his status and attack you to seize the immortal steel. However, if it's the immortal talisman, it's not certain. As for the immortal steel, it's just an incomplete talisman. Zhigu doesn't care about it. You don't have to worry too much. Moreover, you should have a lot of trump cards that are enough to cover up all of this. Tao Lord Undying smiled. You have a lot of treasures on you. If Zhigu wanted to attack you, do you think you would be able to survive until now? Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. This was the truth. If Zhigu wanted to attack him, he wouldn't be able to survive until now. Chapter 1878. Senior June. What are your plans for the future? Yang Hongwu looked at Tao Lord Undying and asked. Now that Tao Lord Undying had a physical body and had come back to life, he probably wouldn't continue to be trapped in this damn place. Perhaps Yang Hongwu could even make use of Tao Lord Undying's strength. Moreover, the immortal steel had been taken away by him. This world wouldn't last for long. Once he left, this world would collapse, and this underground city would cease to exist. This underground city existed because of the immortal steel. Now that he had taken the immortal steel, he had taken it away. As long as he left, this underground city would definitely collapse. I'm going to rest here for a while. I'll only leave after my cultivation base has recovered. If you need anything, you can use this message talisman to contact me. With that, Tao Lord Undying took out a message talisman and handed it to Yang Hongwu. If there's anything I can help you with, I'll definitely not decline. Yang Hongwu had originally thought that the deathless Tao Lord would be with them. He had not expected that this fellow would actually want to cultivate here. However, the promise he had made and the talisman had surprised Yang Hongwu. However, since Tao Lord Undying wasn't willing to go with them, Yang Hongwu naturally wouldn't say anything. This was his freedom, and he couldn't order him around. In fact, Yang Hongwu felt that Tao Lord Undying's unwillingness to go with them was both good and bad for Yang Hongwu. The good thing was that he didn't have to worry about being schemed against by Tao Lord Undying. The bad thing was that Tao Lord Undying was an absolute expert after all and knew a lot of things. If Tao Lord Undying was willing, Yang Hongwu would be able to get a lot of help from him. For example, he would be able to learn how to use the immortal steel. If Tao Lord Undying was willing, Yang Hongwu would be able to get a lot of help in these areas. Since Tao Lord Undying wants to consolidate and recover your cultivation base, I won't force you. Yang Hongwu said, We'll take our leave now. Yang Hongwu gave Huo Shenquang and Anya Shinba a look and left the underground city. In fact, there were still some treasures in the underground city. However, these treasures belonged to the Undying Tao Lord. If Luo Yunyang continued to take them, he was afraid that the Undying Tao Lord would be displeased. Although the Undying Tao Lord wouldn't say it out loud, he definitely wouldn't be happy. Furthermore, These items didn't mean much to Yang Hongwu. They were just some treasures. There was no need to offend the deathless Tao lord over them. In fact, after Yang Hongwu took the immortal steel, he saw a treasure. It was a fire attribute treasure. This treasure was quite rare, and Hua Teng didn't dare to say anything more after hearing Yang Hongwu's words. Although Hua Teng wanted it very much, he didn't dare to say anything more after hearing what Yang Hongwu said. The group left the underground city and returned to Flame City. Hua Teng said, "Young master, there's still many treasures in the underground city. Why don't we take some? Are you the one who wants them?" Huo Shenquang said, "Although the treasures are good, they belong to the undying Tao Lord. If we take them by force, we'll definitely offend the undying Tao Lord. It's not worth it to make things difficult for young master over a few treasures." "That's right." Yang Hongwu nodded. In fact, Yang Hongwu knew that Huo Shenquang had many treasures himself. Yang Hongwu and Anya Shin naturally didn't lack treasures either. However, Hua Teng was only a small general in Flame City. He naturally didn't have any treasures. When he saw the treasures in the underground city, he was naturally moved, especially when he saw the treasures that were very compatible with him. He naturally wanted to obtain them. Unfortunately, Yang Hongwu turned around and left, leaving him with no choice. He was only Yang Hongwu's servant. When his master wanted to leave, how could he, as a servant, dare to disobey his master's orders? Moreover, Yang Hongwu had already seen through his intentions but still wanted to leave. If Hua Teng forcibly took the treasures, not only would he incur the displeasure of Yang Hongwu, but he might also be killed by the undying Tao Lord. The undying Tao Lord's strength was so strong that he was not someone he could withstand. "I know you don't have a suitable weapon, but don't worry. As long as you work for me, I won't mistreat you. As for weapons, when I get the materials in the future, I can forge a suitable treasure for you," Yang Hongwu said to Hua Teng. "That's not difficult." Huo Shenquang was shocked. According to Yang Hongwu's words, he could also forge weapons. Moreover, it seemed that he could forge supreme treasures. This was even more shocking. One had to know that Yang Hongwu had already shown a lot of talent before. In terms of alchemy, talismans, and formations, he was extremely talented. His attainments were not low. Now, he said that he also seemed to have a lot of attainments in refining tools. How could this not surprise people? No matter how outstanding a person's talent was, there was always a limit to his energy. On the path of cultivation, it was already very rare to be proficient in one or two aspects. However, Yang Hongwu seemed to be at the top of all aspects. This was truly terrifying. This master seemed to know everything and was proficient in everything. It was simply too terrifying. "Master, there's no need for this." Yang Hongwu knew what Hua Teng wanted to say. He shook his head and said, "I'm going to leave this place. Huo Shenquang and Hua Teng, the two of you will guard Flame City. Flame City should have some trump cards. I hope that the next time we meet, you can rebuild it. Build a glorious Flame City. Hua Teng, as for your treasure, when you find suitable materials in the future, I will tailor one for you. For now, you can go to Flame City's treasury to collect one." "Master, you're leaving?" Huo Shenquang was stunned when he heard this. He never thought that Yang Hongwu would be in such a hurry to leave. It was as if something had happened. This made Huo Shenquang worried. Moreover, Yang Hongwu didn't even check the treasury of Flame City. "Yes, I don't have much time left. I have a bad feeling, so I have to hurry," Yang Hongwu said. Anya Shin was also surprised. He didn't expect Yang Hongwu to be in such a hurry. Chapter 1879. With that, Yang Hongwu and Anya Shin crushed a teleportation talisman and teleported them away. In an instant, they appeared thousands of miles away. "Young master, why are you in such a hurry? Did something happen?" Anya Shin was surprised to see Yang Hongwu in such a hurry. After all, there was no need for him to be in such a hurry unless something major had happened. Yang Hongwu wasn't an impatient person. There were only two things that could make Yang Hongwu so anxious. One was Yang Hongwu's woman, and the other was a fragment of the life seal. Apart from these two possibilities, Yang Hongwu couldn't possibly be in such a hurry. Don't ask too much. Yang Hongwu didn't explain. He used another teleportation talisman and teleported them away. This time, they teleported a few hundred miles away. After 2 teleportations, the two arrived outside an ancient city. Iron Mountain City? Yang Hongwu looked at the majestic city gates. The 3 words, Iron Mountain City, contained a majestic power. This city wasn't simple. Compared to Flame City, it wasn't weak. There were several powerful auras in this ancient city. However, there was only one sovereign realm expert. However, this sovereign realm expert's strength was terrifying. He was a late-stage sovereign realm expert. A late-stage sovereign realm expert was much more threatening than 2 mid-stage sovereigns. A sovereign realm expert's strength is terrifying, Yang Hongwu murmured. Young master, is there something in Iron Mountain City that you want? Anya Shen asked. What on earth was in this city that made Yang Hongwu so anxious that he used 2 transmission talismans in a row and rushed here in such a hurry? There must be something that he had to pay attention to. Something. Anya Shen was very surprised. It must be some kind of treasure that attracted him so much. However, this made Anya Shen even more curious. I can feel her aura, Yang Hongwu said. She's in Iron Mountain City. Whose aura? Yang Hongwu's words surprised Anya Shen even more. After all, who could make Yang Hongwu so anxious? At least, she didn't know. Could it be from another plane? This wasn't impossible. She knew that Yang Hongwu wasn't originally from the Dark Knight continent. Instead, he came from the Divine Realm and accidentally entered the Dark Knight continent. This was the Heaven-Span continent, the Divine Temple of Self-Defense. It wasn't strange for it to be connected to the Divine Realm. You don't know him, Yang Hongwu said. In truth, the reason why Yang Hongwu was so anxious was because he sensed Pan Ni's aura. Pan and I was one of his women. He had never imagined that he would sense Pan Ni's aura here. It seemed that Pan and I was still in danger. Come on, let's go in, Yang Hongwu said. Yang Hongwu didn't enter through the gates of Iron Mountain City. Instead, he used the teleportation technique. The 2 of them entered an ancient hall. This hall was the main city of Iron Mountain City. There was no powerful aura in this hall. This hall wasn't where the late-stage Sovereign Realm expert resided. Yang Hongwu used the teleportation technique and the fortune aura to envelop his body. This allowed Yang Hongwu to easily enter the hall. The palace was heavily guarded with forbidding auras, but they were nothing to Yang Hongwu. He was able to enter the place with ease, as if there was no one around. This was Yang Hongwu's strength. It's here. Yang Hongwu looked at the room in front of him and narrowed his eyes. Pan Ni's aura was inside. This proved that Pan and I was inside. However, Yang Hongwu was very curious. There wasn't only Pan Ni's aura inside. There was also another familiar, yet unfamiliar aura. This aura puzzled Yang Hongwu. This aura seemed to be related to his bloodline. This surprised Yang Hongwu. Who was the person who was related to him by blood? Who is it? How dare you barge into the city lord's mansion? An angry shout sounded. Yang Hongwu had already kicked open the door. When he entered, Yang Hongwu was furious. He saw that Pan and I was trapped. Her face was covered in blood, and her aura was weak. Moreover, there was a young man beside her. This young man looked very similar to Yang Hongwu. His aura was even weaker. There was a hole in his chest. Husband. When Pan and I saw Yang Hongwu, she was pleasantly surprised. Then, her expression changed greatly, and she shouted, Go, leave this place. Husband. When the man beside Pan and I heard this, he laughed and said, You're this woman's husband, so this brat should be your child. TSK, what a dense bloodline power. Good, very good. I was worried that this brat's bloodline power was still a bit weak. You're his father. Your bloodline is so strong. After devouring your heart, it should be able to improve my bloodline. Child? Pan and I, is he my child? Yang Hongwu looked at the young man. At this moment, he was on the verge of death. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed coldly. This person before him was courting death. Not only did he injure Pan and I to this extent, he also put his own life on the line. How could Yang Hongwu not be furious when his child was on the verge of death? You deserve to die. Do you know that? Yang Hongwu's furious chi exploded out. He looked like a terrifying demon god. The entire palace was enveloped by a terrifying, killing chi. The room had completely collapsed. A terrifying chi was locked onto the man in front of him. What an arrogant brat. You're too weak. In front of me, Tai Meng, you can't even withstand a single blow. Brat, if you know what's good for you, hand over your bloodline and I'll let you live. Tai Meng looked at Yang Hongwu. He wasn't worried at all. At this moment, Yang Hongwu's aura was terrifying. His chi was terrifying, but Yang Hongwu was only a godly emperor. A cultivator of the 9th godly emperor layer was nothing in his eyes. He was at the peak of the great imperial emperor layer, a half-step ruler. Godly emperors were just ants. If he wanted to kill Yang Hongwu, it would be extremely easy. Common Life Great Seal, come out. At this moment, Yang Hongwu's terrifying chi exploded out. A huge seal appeared. That was the Common Life Great Seal. At this moment, Yang Hongwu was using his greatest strength. Chapter 1880. After being hit by Yang Hongwu's Life Great Seal and Undying God Tablet, Tai Meng coughed up a mouthful of blood. This attack was extremely domineering, and Tai Meng wasn't at the ruler realm. On top of that, Yang Hongwu had attacked in anger, so he was instantly heavily injured. Damn it, you actually have so many treasures. Tai Meng had been too arrogant, and Yang Hongwu had also exploded out with his full strength. As such, Tai Meng couldn't withstand it at all. However, it's impossible for you to kill me. I was too careless just then. I didn't think that you would have so many treasures. These treasures are all mine. Tai Meng's eyes were filled with greed. Treasures. These two treasures definitely weren't ordinary treasures. They were supreme treasures, and they were extremely powerful. Tai Meng had been heavily injured in an instant. After all, Tai Meng didn't cultivate any ordinary cultivation technique. His body was incredibly powerful, and it was like a steel mountain that couldn't be shaken. Ordinary treasures wouldn't be able to injure him at all. Die! Yang Hongwu didn't say anything. Since he hadn't killed Tai Meng with his first attack, he continued to crazily attack. This time, he was even faster than before, and the Life Grand Seal once more smashed down on Tai Meng. Damn it! At this moment, Tai Meng's expression greatly changed. He realized that something was wrong. This space had been sealed, and he couldn't use the Iron Mountain City's power at all. Moreover, he couldn't even call for help. He had no choice but to take Yang Hongwu's attack head-on. Bang! With a muffled explosion, he was once again sent flying. Die! Yang Hongwu followed up with another attack, putting away the Life Great Seal and Undying God Tablet. Right now, he was holding a saber, the primordial saber. Wait! Seeing Yang Hongwu walking towards him with his saber filled with killing intent, Tai Meng had no choice but to lower himself. He had been too careless, and after the two attacks, he was already heavily injured. Right now, he couldn't fight against Yang Hongwu at all. He didn't want to die. Even if you kill me, you won't be able to escape. This is Iron Mountain City, and I'm the city lord. If something happens to me, all of you will die here with me, Tai Meng said loudly. What a joke. Yang Hongwu coldly harumphed and did not hesitate as he slashed out with his saber. This saber gave off a shocking light, and its killing intent locked onto Tai Meng, making it impossible for him to dodge. He could not believe that Yang Hongwu would directly kill him. So what if I kill you? If you dare to lay your hands on my woman, you will die. After saying that, Yang Hongwu's saber slashed down on Tai Meng's body. Tai Meng's eyes widened as he was once again sent flying. Before Tai Meng could land on the ground, Yang Hongwu once again slashed down. His head was chopped off. Following this, Yang Hongwu waved his hand, and a fireball flew out. The instant Tai Meng's soul flew out, it was ignited by the fireball. Tai Meng's soul let out a pained cry before his body and soul were turned into nothingness. He could not be any more dead. After killing Tai Meng, Yang Hongwu went to Pan Ni's side and gave her a medicinal pill. Of course, he also gave it to the young man who looked quite similar to him. Husband, how is June? After taking the medicinal pill, Pan and I hurriedly went to the young man's side. You can't let anything happen to June. He's our child. Yang Hongwu said, He's fine. You don't need to worry. Yang Hongwu looked at his son. Tai Meng was connected to him by blood. This was something that could not be denied. Although Yang Hongwu was not ready to be a father, he was still his son. It was just that his bloodline had been destroyed and his heart had been dug out. If it weren't for the fact that he was quite strong, he would already be a dead man. Fortunately, he had come in time. Otherwise, he would definitely be dead. Anya Shin looked at Yang Hongwu and then at Pan and I. He naturally felt a bit disappointed. Although he knew that a genius like Yang Hongwu definitely had a woman, seeing that Pan and I had even given birth to Yang Hongwu's child, he still felt a bit uncomfortable. What's his name? Yang Hongwu asked. Yang Tianjun, said Pan and I. He's Yang Tianjun. How did you get here and get caught by this bastard? Yang Hongwu asked Pan and I after seeing that Yang Tianjun's aura had stabilized. Husband, this isn't the place to talk. Let's take a way to leave this place and go somewhere safe. Pan Ni's expression suddenly changed. There's a peerless expert in Iron Mountain City. His strength is much greater than Fei Ming's. If we're targeted by him, I'm afraid. If he catches us, we'll be in trouble. Yang Hongwu thought about it and felt that she was right. Nodding, he grabbed Pan and I and Yang Hongwu and nodded to Anya Shen. With a thought, he tore open space, and the four of them left Iron Mountain City in an instant. Iron Mountain City Grand Elder Residence. This was where the Grand Elder of Iron Mountain City, Tai Tulong, cultivated. The instant Tai Meng was killed, Tai Tulong sensed it. Tai Meng was the city lord of Iron Mountain City. For him to be killed in the city lord's residence infuriated him. This was a provocation to Iron Mountain City. However, when he arrived at the city lord's residence, he found that Tai Meng's cultivation place was a complete mess. The enemy hadn't discovered him at all, and there wasn't even a trace of his aura. He asked the guards of the city lord's residence, but none of them knew. They didn't even know how the enemy had gotten in. Could have been done by that bastard. Tai Tulong was furious. It was impossible for an outsider to enter the city lord's residence without anyone noticing. If it wasn't an outsider, then it was very likely an insider. Only his son, Tai Xiaoyao, could kill Tai Meng without anyone noticing. Although Tai Xiaoyao was Tai Meng's son, in reality, he hated Tai Meng to the bone. This was because Tai Meng had stolen his son's fortune in order to take the city lord's position. Furthermore, he had caused Tai Xiaoyao's mother to die. It was because of this that Tai Xiaoyao hated Tai Meng to the bone. He had even tried to assassinate Tai Meng several times. After failing to find any clues in the city lord's residence, Tai Tulong teleported to Tai Xiaoyao's residence. Tai Xiaoyao, get the hell out here! Tai Tulong roared, and the door to Tai Xiaoyao's residence was instantly shattered. Chapter 1881. Were you the one who killed Tai Meng? Tai Tulong asked coldly as he released an immense pressure. If it weren't for the fact that Tai Xiaoyao's strength wasn't bad, he would have been unable to breathe in front of this pressure. That old bastard is dead. Tai Xiaoyao couldn't help but smile. Although he was suppressed by Tai Tulong's aura, he still smiled. He didn't really care about Tai Tulong because he knew that Tai Tulong wouldn't kill him. After all, he was the third strongest expert after Tai Tulong. Tai Meng was already dead. If he died as well, it would be a huge blow to Iron Mountain City. Therefore, he didn't care about Tai Tulong's threat. That's great. That's truly great. This makes me truly happy. Unfortunately, that old bastard didn't die by my hands. As Tai Xiaoyao said those words, hatred shot out from his eyes. You? Tai Tulong was furious. Tai Tulong was infuriated by Tai Xiaoyao. This bastard, he really wanted to slap him to death. In the end, Tai Tulong managed to suppress the rage in his heart. You weren't the one who killed Tai Meng? Tai Tulong stared at Tai Xiaoyao, wanting to see some clues from his eyes. I wanted to kill him, but unfortunately, it wasn't me. Tai Xiaoyao sighed. If it wasn't you, it would have been impossible for an outsider to kill Tai Meng in the city lord's mansion. An outsider wouldn't have been able to enter, Tai Tulong said. In Iron Mountain City, Tai Meng was the city lord. Although his strength hadn't reached the ruler realm, he was still able to fight against a ruler in the city lord's mansion. Even Tai Tulong himself wouldn't have been able to kill Tai Ming so easily. Moreover, he hadn't even given Tai Ming a chance to call for help. No matter who it was, I have to properly thank him. Tai Xiaoyao smiled. From this, it could be seen just how happy he was about Tai Ming's death. Firstly, he had gotten his revenge, and secondly, he had a chance to become the city lord of Iron Mountain City. This was something that he had always dreamed of. His talent was much greater than Tai Ming's, and if he could become the city lord of Iron Mountain City, he would be able to quickly reach the ruler realm. However, Tai Ming's death also made him quite worried. Although he didn't know who had killed Tai Ming, for that person to be able to kill Tai Ming in the city lord's mansion so soundlessly and without giving Tai Ming a chance to call for help, it could be seen how terrifying that person was. In the city lord mansion, even Tai Tulong wouldn't be able to achieve such a feat. Tai Tulong's strength was absolutely formidable. This was something he knew very well in his heart. Since the other party had killed Tai Ming, would they do the same to him? This was something that he was quite worried about. Even Tai Ming could not block it, so he did not think that he would be able to block it. I hope Tai Ming's death really has nothing to do with you. Otherwise, even if the fate of Iron Mountain City is damaged, I'll kill you. Tai Tulong coldly snorted and left Tai Xiaoyao's residence. While Tai Tulong was searching for Tai Ming's murderer, Yang Hanwu had already set up a formation. At this time, Yang Tianjun had also woken up. Pan and I was overjoyed to see Yang Tianjun awake. Yang Hongwu's lips curled into a trace of a smile. Jun, this is your father, Pan and I introduced to Yang Tianjun. Greetings, Lord Father. Yang Tianjun bowed towards Yang Hongwu. He didn't seem very excited, but when he saw that Yang Hongwu's cultivation was only at the God Emperor realm, he felt somewhat disappointed. In his heart, his father Yang Hongwu should be an unparalleled expert with unparalleled strength. He had never imagined that Yang Hongwu's cultivation would only be at the God Emperor realm. He couldn't even compare to him. At the very least, he was now at the Emperor realm. Child, don't underestimate your father. Although his cultivation isn't high, his strength is comparable to sovereigns. Tai Ming couldn't even withstand a single blow from your father. If it weren't for your father, you and I would have already died at Tai Ming's hands. Pan and I naturally saw through her child's thoughts. Pan and I knew what her son was thinking. Hearing this, Yang Tianjuan's eyes widened in disbelief. Could it be that his father was hiding his cultivation? That was possible. Moreover, his mother Pan and I had also said that his father Yang Hongwu's cultivation wasn't high. If that was the case, then his father's strength was truly terrifying. As a God Emperor, he was able to kill Tai Ming, a half-step sovereign. Moreover, Tai Ming was the city lord of Iron Mountain City. In Iron Mountain City, Tai Ming's strength was comparable to sovereigns. However, his father Yang Hongwu had easily killed Tai Ming. Tai Ming didn't even have the chance to fight back. Haha, it's nothing. Yang Hongwu laughed. He didn't mind at all. Boy, you have to cultivate properly. Your bloodline source is damaged. It will take some time for you to completely recover. At this point, Yang Hongwu sighed. It was not easy to recover from the damage to one's origin. Even if he had countless methods, it would still take time. Of course, he could also use his own source to help Yang Tianjun recover. However, Yang Hongwu wouldn't do that. Even if he used his own source to help Yang Tianjun recover, it would still take a long time for Yang Tianjun to recover. However, there's a way for you to recover quickly. Moreover, it will allow you to reach a higher level. Yang Hongwu had an idea. He wanted to take over Iron Mountain City and make his son Yang Tianjun the city lord. This way, Yang Tianjun's source will be quickly recovered. Sufficient. What is it? Yang Tianjun was pleasantly surprised. He hurriedly asked, take down Iron Mountain City and make you the city lord of Iron Mountain City. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up as he spoke. No. Pan and I shook her head. Pan and I hurriedly shook her head. It's too dangerous. Iron Mountain City's old ancestor, Tai Tulong, is too strong. We are no match for him. We can't take such a risk. Jun-Er's strength can slowly recover. Yang Hongwu smiled. Since I said it, it means that I'm confident. Only Tai Tulong can make me wary of Iron Mountain City. The others aren't worth mentioning. Now that I've killed Tai Ming, Iron Mountain City's luck is at a low point. This is the best time. If we can lure Tai Tulong out, then it will be the best time. Chapter 1882. I know about the geniuses of Iron Mountain City, said Pan and I, but it won't be easy to kill them. Where is it? Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes and asked. Myriad Dragon Mountain. The geniuses of Iron Mountain City are all training there, said Pan and I. Pan and I said, back then, I accidentally entered the 10,000 Dragon Mountains and was captured by Tai Ming there. All right, then let's go to Myriad Dragon Mountain. Yang Hongwu's eyes shone with a cold light. Kill all of their geniuses and seize Iron Mountain City's fortune. However, Myriad Dragon Mountain is also very dangerous. There are groups of poisonous snakes there, and rumor has it that there's a snake king there that's extremely powerful. That snake king seems to be Tai Tulong's battle pet, said Pan and I. I heard this by accident. Tai Tulong's battle pet is a snake king. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. As expected, it wasn't simple. A powerful serpent king. Then, this serpent king's strength was at least at the half-step sovereign realm. If Tai Tulong wasn't here, he would have killed it. If Tai Tulong wasn't there, then a snake king would be able to sever one of Tai Tulong's arms, greatly reducing his strength. Otherwise, a late-stage sovereign and a snake king battle pet would be extremely terrifying. So what if it's a snake king? I'll just beat it to a dead snake. Yang Hongwu was confident. Not to mention snakes. Yang Hongwu wouldn't even be worried about powerful dragons of the sovereign realm. What cultivation technique did he cultivate? It was the Nine Heavens divine dragon art. Combined with the power of his bloodline, he could completely counter it. It was the same for mutated beasts with the bloodline of dragons, and it was the same for snakes. The group headed towards the 10,000 Dragon Mountain. The 10,000 Dragon Mountain was not far from the Iron Mountain City. It was the territory of the Iron Mountain City. It could be said that the 10,000 Dragon Mountain was one of the most important places in the Iron Mountain City. Most of the resources of the Iron Mountain City came from the 10,000 Dragon Mountain. It was a place for training. If the Iron Mountain City did not have this Myriad Dragon Mountain, the strength of the Iron Mountain City would be much weaker. After arriving at the 10,000 Dragon Mountain, they looked at this towering mountain. In reality, this was a mountain range. The main peak was the Myriad Dragon Mountain. He even set up a formation to hide the spirit vein inside. Yang Hongwu smiled. In the main peak of Myriad Dragon Mountain, there was a formation. This formation sealed off a spirit vein. If it was someone else, they wouldn't be able to find it. However, in front of Yang Hongwu, there was no way to find it. There was nowhere to hide. There were no formations or restrictions that could block the detection of Yang Hongwu's Dharma Eye of Annihilation. This array formation is really not simple. Huh? It seems to be nourishing something with the power of the spirit vein. Although Yang Hongwu had seen through the array formation, there was still an underground palace within the array formation. What was in that underground palace was the key to everything. It should be a treasure, a powerful treasure that was nurtured by the entire spiritual vein. A treasure that was nurtured by a spiritual vein was definitely not simple. If it was an ordinary item, there was no need to use such a powerful spiritual vein to nurture it. More importantly, that spiritual vein was the only thing that mattered. The Snake King was guarding this treasure in the middle of the formation. Husband, is what you said true? Pan and I was shocked. One had to know that this was not the low-level world from before. Here, it was so easy to discover the secret of Myriad Dragon Mountain. This was not something that ordinary people could see. Of course it's true. My technique can see through any formation and restriction. Yang Hongwu said confidently. However, there's a powerful python in the formation. I'm afraid that's the Snake King you're talking about. That loach is really strong. It's in the sovereign realm, but it's not that strong. However, it's still not enough in front of me. If we can capture that little snake, we can extract its bloodline origin to make up for the loss of the Heavenly Lord's origin. The inner core of a sovereign realm Snake King could be refined into a divine origin pill. In this way, it would be of great help to Heavenly Lord Yang Hongwu's origin. Let's go. Okay. Pan and I nodded. However, If there's any danger, we can leave immediately. As for the Heavenly Lord's origin, we can slowly make up for it. There's no need to rush. Pan and I was still a little worried. After all, Yang Hongwu's cultivation was still a little weak. He was only in the divine emperor realm, which was lower than her. One had to know that she was already in the late stage of the emperor realm. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Yang Hongwu gave Pan and I a smile to reassure her. His initial goal was to kill the geniuses of the Iron Mountain City. However, now that he had discovered such a huge secret within the 10,000 Dragon Mountains, his first goal had changed. His plan had changed to killing the Snake King and taking the treasures within the formation. Of course, he would not let go of this spirit vein. After entering the boundary of Myriad Dragon Mountain, Yang Hongwu found a few people. They were all in the early stage of the Emperor Realm. 2 of them were young and talented. Those people should be the geniuses of Iron Mountain City, right? Yang Hongwu didn't hide his killing intent. However, he wouldn't expose it now. First, he set up a formation. Silently, Yang Hongwu had already set up a formation. This formation trapped those people and sealed the space. Yang Hongwu didn't want to expose himself. Of course, he couldn't kill them directly. Otherwise, it would attract attention. Therefore, he only destroyed their physical bodies and trapped their souls. Otherwise, Tai Tulong would find out. Once Tai Tulong found out, he would come to Myriad Dragon Mountain. If Shan was here, his plan would fail. That was not a good thing. You guys wait here. I'll deal with those guys. Yang Hongwu said, Master, I'll go with you. Anya Shin said. Yang Hongwu shook his head. There's no need. They're just a few ants. After saying that, Yang Hongwu disappeared on the spot. In the next moment, he appeared in front of those people. Who are you? Tai Huayan's expression changed slightly when he saw the man who suddenly appeared. However, this man was only in the divine Emperor realm. This made him relax a lot. If an Emperor realm expert suddenly appeared, it would be troublesome. Chapter 1883. Under Yang Hongwu's full power, he destroyed everyone's physical bodies, leaving only their spirits. Their spirits couldn't escape and were captured by Yang Hongwu and sealed in a few soul pearls. Before they could even react, Yang Hongwu had already taken them down. His speed was so fast that it left them speechless. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Yang Tianjun muttered to himself upon seeing this scene. No, it's the truth. Pan and I was pleasantly surprised. Although she knew that Yang Hongwu could definitely win, she just didn't expect that Yang Hongwu would actually defeat these people so quickly. It really surprised her. Your father is a genius. He can't be compared to ordinary people. Yang Hongwu nodded. He had changed his mind when he heard that Yang Hongwu would help him take over Iron Mountain City and make him the city lord. He didn't think that Yang Hongwu could do it, but now he saw it. The possibility of that happening was very high. Therefore, he was looking forward to seizing the Iron Mountain City. Of course, it was just a little bit of anticipation. One should know that there was a terrifying existence like Tai Tulong in the Iron Mountain City. He was the stabilizing force of the Iron Mountain City. If there was no way to defeat him, they would have to seize the Iron Mountain City. This was something that was almost impossible. There are 2 more. They aren't weak. Yang Hongwu said, Let's kill those 2 first, then we'll deal with the Snake King. Where are they? Anya Shin asked. Are they far from here? Not far. Those 2 guys must have schemed against them. The corners of Yang Hongwu's mouth curled up into a smile. Scheming and scheming against each other existed everywhere. The strength of these people was weaker than the strength of the other 2. At that moment, those 2 fellows were besieging an enormous snake. Although that enormous snake's strength had yet to reach the ruler realm, it was still a peak half-step ruler. It was only a single step away from reaching the ruler realm. As such, it was extremely powerful. Moreover, Yang Hongwu also saw that there was another big snake in the dark. This big snake's strength was slightly weaker than this one, but not by a lot. These 2 snakes, TSK, that even knew how to scheme. These 2 guys had been tricked. At this time, although the 2 of them were suppressing the giant python, they would probably be in trouble after a while. The 2 of them didn't realize the danger they were in. However, Yang Hongwu was a little surprised. Logically speaking, these two should be geniuses from the lower realm of Iron Mountain City. Moreover, they were extremely talented and should have been valued by Tai Tulong. In fact, Myriad Dragon Mountain was completely under his control. In Tai Tulong's hands, although the two of them would be severely injured, they wouldn't die. However, Yang Hongwu wouldn't give them a chance. He could reap the benefits of the fishermen. Come, let's go find those two, Yang Hongwu said. As for the Snake King, we'll deal with it later. Yang Hongwu removed the formation and led the way. Before long, the four of them arrived at the battlefield of the other two geniuses from Iron Mountain City. With Yang Hongwu's cover, the two geniuses and the two giant snakes wouldn't be able to discover Yang Hongwu. Furthermore, to the Iron Mountain City, the Myriad Dragon Mountain was equivalent to a forbidden area of the Iron Mountain City. Any outsider that entered the Iron Mountain City would be discovered. If an outsider forcefully entered, it would be seen as a provocation to the Iron Mountain City. However, they were too arrogant. They thought that it was impossible for an outsider to enter Myriad Dragon Mountain. At least, that was what Tai Tulong thought. No one would dare to enter Myriad Dragon Mountain. Once someone entered, they would be discovered. They would never have thought that there would be someone like Yang Hongwu who could enter the 10,000 Dragon Mountain without anyone noticing. Of course, if it was someone else, they would have been discovered after entering the Myriad Dragon Mountain, but Yang Hongwu didn't. This was because when he entered the Myriad Dragon Mountain, Yang Hongwu had already used the Aura Concealing Talisman. This Aura Concealing Talisman could perfectly conceal their aura. In addition, for Yang Hongwu, there was no formation or restriction that could stop him. No matter how powerful the formation or restriction was, it was useless. Therefore, Yang Hongwu entered the Myriad Dragon Mountain silently. Tai Ziquang and Tai Xiaoxiao. Pan Ni's eyes flashed coldly. These two bastards were the reason why we were captured. Don't worry, I won't let them go so easily, Yang Hongwu said. After hearing Pan Ni's words, Yang Hongwu didn't plan to kill the two of them so easily. He wanted to teach them a lesson. When they got closer, they saw a supreme divine herb. That's a chaos starflower. How is this possible? Anya Shin's eyes widened in disbelief. Pan and I also took a deep breath. I didn't expect a chaos starflower to appear here. This is too unbelievable. A chaos starflower. Rumor has it that a mature chaos starflower can create a chaos starbody. If I can obtain it. Yang Tianjun stared at the chaos starflower, his eyes shining brightly. Clearly, he wanted it very much. This was a chaos starflower. After all, his core essence hadn't recovered yet. If he could obtain this chaos starflower, he could be reborn and create a chaos starbody. This chaos starflower isn't mature. In order to make it mature, you need to draw upon the power of the 9 heavenly stars. Yang Hongwu said, if you use an immature chaos starflower, you won't be able to create a complete chaos starbody. Therefore, you need to think carefully. Naturally, Yang Hongwu could tell that Yang Tianjun wanted this starflower very much and guessed his intentions. If he didn't create a complete chaos starbody right from the start, it wouldn't be easy to complete it in the future. Father, I've thought it through. I want that chaos starflower. Even if it's an incomplete chaos starbody, it doesn't matter, Yang Tianjun said firmly. All right, Yang Hongwu said, I'll definitely get you that chaos starflower. Yang Hongwu was very curious. Chaos starflowers, supreme treasures, and spirit veins. This Myriad Dragon Mountain really wasn't simple. Could it be that this Myriad Dragon Mountain was the same as the Divine Flame Mountain? Currently, Yang Hongwu had reached 3 cities on the Skyspan continent: Flame City, Anya City, and the current Iron Mountain City. Among these 3 cities, there was an ancient mountain within the sphere of influence of Flame City and Iron Mountain City. Both of these mountains contained great benefits. Chapter 1884. However, to Yang Hongwu, whether it was the chaotic star flower or the treasure nourished by the spirit vein within the formation, Yang Hongwu wanted both. If he were to use the spirit vein and the unknown treasure to nourish the chaotic starflower together. Would he be able to make the immature chaotic starflower mature? If he could, that would be something to be happy about. After all, although the treasure was good, it was still not as important as his own child. No matter what, Yang Tianjun was his son. How could he refuse if he wanted to use the chaotic star flower to forge the chaotic star body? Even if it was a treasure, it was still much more important than the chaotic star flower. The chaotic star's flower was much more important, and Yang Hongwu would not hesitate to give up on that supreme treasure. Not far away, Tai Xiaoxiao shouted, "Evil creature, die!" With that, Tai Xiaoxiao and Tai Ziquang rushed up at the same time and used their ultimate moves. Powerful energy instantly enveloped the huge python. Bang! With a loud bang, the huge body of the giant python was instantly sent flying. The corners of the two people's mouths curled up into a smile. At this time, behind them, another giant python rushed out in an instant. This giant python opened its mouth and bit one of the people behind it. With a fierce swing of its tail, it sent the other person flying. In that instant, one of them had an arm bitten off, while the other had several bones all over his body broken by the python's tail. Both of them were seriously injured. Tai Xiaoxiao and Tai Ziquang had never imagined that there would be two powerful pythons here. If they had known, they would not have been so careless. The two pythons had actually schemed against them. One of them had attracted their attention, while the other had attacked them from behind at the most crucial moment. That was how the two of them had been seriously injured. Damn it, are these two animals going to ask the city lord for help? Tai Ziquang and Tai Xiaoxiao's faces contorted as they watched the huge python slowly slithering toward them. The intense pain made the two of them even more furious. However, at this moment, the two of them, but now that they were seriously injured, how could they deal with the two terrifying pythons? If there was only one of them, he might have been able to deal with it. But now, there were two of them, and one of them was completely unharmed. There's no other way. I can only ask the city lord for help. But it's a pity that once the city lord comes, I won't be able to keep the star flower. Tai Xiaoxiao laughed bitterly without end. She'd found such a supreme divine herb with great difficulty, yet never had she imagined that she would still have to give it away. With City Lord Dan's arrival, they wouldn't have a share of this item. But if they didn't ask for help, they would die. With that said, Tai Xiaoxiao took out a talisman. It was a communication talisman, but to her surprise, when she injected her dermic powers into the communication talisman, there was no response at all. Not good, this space has been sealed. Tai Xiaoxiao's expression changed. We're in trouble. These two bastards actually have such a remarkable ability. Hiss, you two damned humans. Today, I'm going to eat you. At this time, a giant python made a sound and opened its huge mouth. Damn beast, if it wasn't for the sneak attack, you wouldn't have been able to defeat us. Tai Ziquang was furious. Bastard, we're both geniuses of Black Mountain City. If you dare to kill us, the city lord will make sure that you die without a burial place. At this time, Yang Hongwu made his move. These two giant pythons should be the Serpent King's subordinates or descendants. But now that this space had been sealed by him, without the Serpent King's instructions, the giant python might really devour the two of them. If they were swallowed alive, their soul jades in Iron Mountain City would definitely shatter, which would attract Tai Tulong's attention. Therefore, they couldn't die yet. At the very least, their souls couldn't be destroyed. That was why Yang Hongwu made his move at this time. With a thought, he instantly appeared behind the giant python. His dermic power condensed into a giant hand that grabbed the python's vital point. Although the two serpents were half-step rulers, they were still serpents. The weakness of serpents was their 7 inches, while the weakness of dragons was their reverse scale. If the two serpents were to evolve, their 7 inches would be the weakest point. Unfortunately, there seemed to be something in the 10,000 Dragon Mountain that was restricting their evolution. Yang Hongwu knew this when he took control of the giant python. Damned human, you actually have helpers. Damn it, let me go. The giant python that Yang Hongwu had grabbed by 7 inches of its neck twisted wildly. However, The giant hand that Yang Hongwu had condensed with his magic power firmly held it in place. This giant python. Seal! Yang Hongwu shouted softly. Then, a talisman flew out and sealed the python in an instant. At this moment, the other giant python saw that the situation was not good and wanted to escape. Unfortunately, this space had been sealed by him. How could a giant python leave this place? Human, let us go, or our ancestor will not let you go. Our ancestor's strength is at the ruler level. You can't stop him. We are here to protect the Chaos Star Flower under our ancestors' orders. If you don't want to die, let my brother go. Seeing that they couldn't escape, the other giant python transformed into its human form and looked at Yang Hongwu. Brother, leave this place quickly, and I can let bygones be bygones. Brother, don't believe this beast's words. You can't let these two damned worms go. Kill them, and we'll split the Chaos Star Flower equally. Tai Ziquang had thought that he was dead for sure, but he hadn't expected that someone else would come. Moreover, this person was very strong. He was so strong that he easily captured one of the giant pythons. As for the other one, it was so scared that it kept retreating. It looked like it was far from being a match for this person. Tai Ziquang and Tai Xiaoxiao both breathed a sigh of relief. At least they didn't have to die. Moreover, they could get a portion of the Chaos Star Flower. Although they could only get a portion, it was still not bad. After all, it was a supreme divine herb. Even if it was a petal, it was still very impressive. At the very least, it could raise their cultivation by 1 level. This was no problem at all. Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Ziquang and Tai Xiaoxiao. These two were really naive. They actually wanted to get the Chaos Star Flower. Shut up, suppress. Yang Hongwu waved his hand and a palace appeared. It was the Destruction Heavenly Palace. The Destruction Heavenly Palace instantly flew towards Tai Ziquang to suppress the two of them. Chapter 1885. Seeing Tai Ziquang and his brother being suppressed, the giant python could not help but laugh out loud. Human, well done. As long as you kill these two and let me go, I will report this to the old ancestor and ask him to reward you handsomely. Tai Ziquang's face was ashen. He did not expect Yang Hongwu to suppress the two of them. Yang Hongwu glanced at them coldly, then extended his hand and grabbed out. He instantly crushed the bodies of Tai Ziquang and Tai Ziquang, reducing them to nothingness. As for their essences, Yang Hongwu used the devouring furnace to devour them. After condensing them into a ball of essences, he activated it. Using the alchemy method, he created a divine pill of origin. At this moment, Tai Ziquang and his brother were only left with their spiritual souls. They were furious, but there was nothing they could do. This man was so terrifying that he directly killed their physical bodies and refined them into divine pills of origin. This man was such a terrifying demon. At this moment, the face of the giant python changed drastically. He did not expect Yang Hongwu to be so domineering. You come here too. Yang Hongwu did not hesitate. This time, he grabbed at the giant python in human form. In the distance, Anya Shen, Pan Ni, and the others were shocked when they saw Yang Hongwu's power. Especially Yang Tianjun, who was simply stunned. Domineering, too domineering. His father was so powerful. Damn it, you want to kill me? You must be dreaming. The angry giant python once again transformed into its original form. It burned its inner core and burst out with a terrifying aura, rushing towards Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu did not care. He snorted coldly. If I want to kill, no one can stop me. Not even Tai Tulong can stop me, let alone your old ancestor. As soon as he finished speaking, his spiritual energy once again condensed into a giant hand. In an instant, it grabbed the giant python's neck. At this moment, its huge body was twisting continuously. Its huge tail whipped the ground, creating huge pits and crushing huge rocks. However, in front of Yang Hongwu's giant hand, it could not withstand a single blow. No matter how it twisted and struggled, it could not escape. Devouring furnace. After Yang Hongwu took control of the python, he summoned the devouring furnace. The python knew that it was in trouble. It struggled madly, trying to escape from Yang Hongwu's control. However, the devouring furnace was too powerful. It even erupted with a terrifying devouring power. Coupled with the suppression of Yang Hongwu's mana giant hand, it couldn't escape at all. It didn't even have a chance of survival. He was instantly dragged into the devouring furnace. Damn it, damn it. No matter how hard it struggled, it couldn't escape the fate of entering the devouring furnace. Not only that, Yang Hongwu also threw in the other python that was already under his control. At this time, the bodies of the two pythons were swallowed. The devouring furnace was refining crazily. Damned human, I won't let you off, won't let me go. Yang Hongwu sneered. I don't want to let him go. This time, he had come to the myriad dragon mountains for the Snake King. How could he let him go? Furthermore, Yang Hongwu knew that since this place was called the Myriad Dragon Mountains, it would be a very good choice to kill some of the powerful snake-type exotic beasts in the mountains. This was just a precaution. In fact, Yang Hongwu only needed to set up an isolation array. He didn't need to worry at all. However, it was always right to be careful. After Yang Hongwu refined the origin of the two pythons' bodies, he left behind two inner cores. These inner cores were refined into Origin Divine pills. This way, he had already obtained two Origin Divine pills. Yang Hongwu gave these two Origin Divine pills to his son, Yang Tianjun. Although these two Origin Divine pills could help Yang Tianjun recover a little, it was impossible for him to fully recover in a short time. After all, if a cultivator's bloodline source was extracted, it would not be easy to recover it. After killing the two people and the two giant pythons, Yang Hongwu prepared to pluck the chaotic starflower. I'm going to pluck the chaotic starflower, Yang Hongwu told them. Husband, wait a moment. Pan and I stopped him. Plucking the chaotic starflower requires special tools. Ordinary tools won't be able to dig it up. Yang Hongwu didn't quite believe her. What kind of tools do you need? Jade. It's best if it's star jade. Otherwise, it won't be able to dig it up at all. Plus, it's easy to damage the chaotic starflower, Pan and I said. Hearing this, Yang Hongwu frowned slightly and said, I do have top-grade jade, but if it is star jade, there is no way to get it now. I have it here, Anya Shen said. Take a look at this star jade. Will it do? At this moment, the goddess of the dark night took out a jade stone. This jade stone contained a vast amount of star energy. This was the special characteristic of the star jade. Yes, that's the star jade, Pan and I said. Husband, you can refine this star jade into a small herb hoe. It'll be even better if you carve some runes on it. Yang Hongwu nodded and took the star jade. With a thought, a ball of flame appeared in his right palm. This was the divine fire. Yang Hongwu used this ball of flame to refine the herb hoe. Soon, the star jade turned into jade under the heat of the divine fire. Liquid. Next, Yang Hongwu used his consciousness to control the liquid jade into the shape of a small herb hoe. He then carved runes on it. Before long, the herb hoe was successfully refined. The moment the herb hoe was successfully refined, the star power in the void was drawn down by Yang Hongwu. Then, tribulation clouds appeared. The lightning tribulation of the herb hoe was about to descend. Seeing this, Anya Shin wasn't surprised. Pan and I was the same. She knew that Yang Hongwu knew how to refine weapons, but Yang Tianjun didn't. He was shocked to see that Yang Hongwu's herb hoe had attracted lightning tribulation. Ordinary blacksmiths wouldn't be able to attract lightning tribulation. Yang Hongwu didn't even try to dodge as he allowed the thunder calamity to land on his body. The power of the thunder calamity was too weak for Yang Hongwu, and it wasn't even worth mentioning. This scene made Yang Tianjun's eyes widen. His father was actually resisting it with his physical body. Lightning tribulation. In fact, Yang Hongwu was also surprised. After all, he had set up a formation to isolate this place from the outside world. He was surprised that lightning tribulation could still be attracted. All right, after Yang Hongwu finished refining, he took the herb hoe refined from the star jade and walked towards the chaos starflower. Using the herb hoe, Yang Hongwu didn't have an easy time digging up the Chaos Starflower. Under the Chaos Starflower was a piece of jade. This piece of jade was incomparably hard. What surprised Yang Hongwu was that it contained boundless star power and chaos. Chapter 1886. Yang Hongwu was overjoyed to have obtained the Starflower. Pan and I and Yang Tianjun were even happier. Yang Hongwu jumped up and landed next to Pan and I. He looked at Yang Tianjun and said, "The Starflower has been dug out, but now is not the time to reforge your saint body. There's a spirit vein in the myriad dragon mountains. Perhaps you can borrow the power of this spirit vein. Let the Starflower mature more quickly. It will be good for you." Really? Pan and I was pleasantly surprised. If it was true, it would be great. After all, the Starflower was far from mature. It would be impossible to use it to forge a chaotic star body. At most, it would be an ordinary astral body. It was impossible to forge a chaotic star body. One was an astral body, while the other was a chaotic star body. The difference between the two was huge. "Father, I will listen to you." Yang Tianjun nodded. Of course, he didn't want to forge a chaotic star body. A half-baked chaotic star body was much weaker than a complete chaotic star body. He wasn't in a hurry anyway. "If we can forge a complete chaotic star body, we won't have to take the risk to seize the Iron Mountain City," said Pan and I. After all, the late-stage sovereign realm expert in the Iron Mountain City was too terrifying. Therefore, Pan and I didn't want Yang Hongwu to take the risk. It wasn't easy for her to see Yang Hongwu again. She didn't want to be separated from him. She didn't want anything to happen to Yang Hongwu either. "That's not a problem." Yang Hongwu smiled faintly. "If we are going to seize the spirit vein, we will have to kill the Serpent King. The Serpent King should be Tai Tulong's battle pet. There is a supreme treasure in the spirit vein that Tai Tulong values. It should be of utmost importance to him. If we kill the Serpent King and seize the treasure, we will become enemies with Tai Tulong. It will be an irreconcilable grudge. Therefore, either he dies or we die. There are other possibilities." Pan and I heard this and frowned. "However, the enemy is too powerful. We don't have a single ruler with us. This is too risky." Although Pan and I knew that Yang Hongwu could challenge those above his level, his strength was too strong. If they were still in Iron Mountain City, if he did, his strength would be even more terrifying. He would be able to contend against a peak sovereign martial artist. How could Pan and I not be worried when faced with such a huge difference in strength? "Don't worry. Since I dare to do this, I have enough confidence. Even if I don't succeed, I can freely retreat," Yang Hongwu said with a smile. "There's a way out. He can't deal with me." Pan and I didn't say anything more after hearing Yang Hongwu's words. On the other hand, Yang Tianjun was impressed by his father's confidence. He was only a divine emperor, but he dared to challenge a sovereign. A late-stage expert making a move was indeed too powerful and admirable. Such a person was either a madman or a peerless monster. Clearly, his father belonged to the latter category. After Yang Hongwu stored the Chaos Starflower in his divine palace, he quickly arrived at the formation on the main peak of Myriad Dragon Mountain. "Wait for me outside. I'll go in and kill the Snake King," Yang Hongwu said to Pan and I and the others. "Husband, I'll go in with you," Pan and I said worriedly. "No need. You're not strong enough." Yang Hongwu shook his head. "You won't be able to help me much. Instead, you'll distract me." "But, Sister Pan, don't worry. I believe the young master is confident. We'll just wait for him here," Anya Shin said as he held Pan Ni's hand. "Yes, mother. Father is definitely confident." Yang Tianjun was full of admiration for Yang Hongwu. He had full confidence in him. After saying that, Yang Hongwu entered the formation with a thought. Outside, Yang Hongwu had set up a great formation. This great formation could isolate the outside world and seal off the space. One reason was to protect Pan and I, Anya Shin, and the others. The other reason was to prevent the Snake King from sending a message to Tai Tulong. If Tai Tulong rushed over at this time, all his plans would be for naught. Therefore, Yang Hongwu was prepared to end the battle quickly. He couldn't give the Snake King or Tai Tulong any chance. If the Snake King was killed and Tai Tulong's supreme treasure was taken away by him, Iron Mountain City's fortune would be greatly damaged. When that happened, he would wipe out all the geniuses of Iron Mountain City. That would be a huge blow to Tai Tulong. That would be when Tai Tulong was at his weakest. Then, he would set up a great formation to deal with Tai Tulong. He would definitely be able to kill him in one fell swoop. Who dares to barge into Myriad Dragon Mountain? The moment Yang Hongwu entered the formation, the Snake King sensed it and stared at Yang Hongwu's position. This surprised Yang Hongwu. This Snake King wasn't simple. He was discovered the moment he entered the formation. One should know that he had concealed his aura. It seemed like Tai Tulong wasn't that easy to deal with. He had underestimated the Snake King. "I'm here to kill you." Yang Hongwu's figure appeared and looked at the Snake King in front of him. It was a huge black snake, and the scales on its body shone brightly. On its huge head, a pair of cold eyes appeared as it stared at Yang Hongwu. "Human ant? You want to kill me? What arrogance!" The Snake King wasn't angry at Yang Hongwu's words. Instead, he stared at Yang Hongwu and said, Snake King didn't dare to act rashly. He didn't believe that a divine emperor warrior could enter the formation without making a sound. There must be someone behind him. This human was just a bait. If he acted rashly, the person behind him wouldn't be able to escape. If he acted rashly, he would definitely ambush him. The Snake King had lived for countless years. As a sovereign, he was as cunning as a fox. His intelligence couldn't be underestimated. He was extremely cautious. Yang Hongwu was a little surprised to see that the Snake King didn't attack him directly. This Snake King was really cautious. If it were any other exotic beast, it would have already rushed up and attacked him. "You're not qualified. Ask the person behind you to come out." The Snake King secretly contacted Tai Tulong. That thing was extremely important to Tai Tulong. He didn't dare to be careless. Therefore, when Yang Hongwu appeared, the Snake King immediately attacked. Chapter 1887. The person behind me? Yang Hongwu smiled. "There's no one behind me. As for whether I'm qualified or not, you'll know once you try. Do you know that you are provoking the Iron Mountain City? My master will not let you off," the Snake King said as he stared at Yang Hongwu. However, he was extremely anxious in his heart. He knew very well that Yang Hongwu did not come with good intentions. Moreover, the other party had already sealed the space. This clearly showed that they had come prepared. Most likely, that treasure had already been leaked. This was going to be troublesome. "Your master?" Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. This Snake King was afraid and was retreating in fear. This was his chance. "You can choose to submit to me. Perhaps you will still have a chance to live. Otherwise, you will only have death waiting for you. As for your master, is the same. What arrogance! Since you want to die, I'll kill you first. Let's see if the person behind you will come out." The Snake King was infuriated. He was afraid of the person behind Yang Hongwu. As for Yang Hongwu, he didn't care about him at all. Yang Hongwu was just a divine emperor warrior. He didn't put him in his eyes at all. He could easily kill Yang Hongwu. At least, that was what the Snake King thought. A divine emperor warrior, no matter how talented he was, how powerful he was, how powerful he was, how powerful he was, and how powerful his treasures were. In the end, it was hard to make up for the difference in his cultivation. The enraged Snake King moved its huge body. Its huge snake tail whipped towards Yang Hongwu in an instant. The tyrannical power instantly crushed the trees in front of it. If one was hit by this attack, one would definitely die. It was obvious how powerful the Snake King was. After all, it was a ruler-level Snake King. Naturally, its attacks were extremely powerful. Yang Hongwu didn't care at all. Yang Hongwu had already anticipated the Snake King's attack. Just as the Snake King was about to hit Yang Hongwu, he used a secret technique and directly left this space. The Snake King seemed to have hit him, but in reality, Yang Hongwu was in a different space. Its position was not in the same space-time as Snake King. This attack had no effect at all. It didn't even touch the corner of Yang Hongwu's clothes. Snake King's eyes widened when he saw that his attack had no effect on Lin Fan. He knew that he was in trouble. Lin Fan looked like a divine emperor, but Lin Fan's true strength was probably more terrifying than him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the guts to provoke him. That was enough to prove that the other party was extremely frightening. The Tao of Space. No wonder you're so arrogant. You've actually comprehended the Tao of Space. However, so what if you've comprehended the Tao of Space? I'll definitely kill you. Snake King roared. His body grew even bigger than before. At this very moment, this Snake King was several hundred meters long. How terrifying was that? A giant snake opened its mouth and spat out a pitch-black energy ball. From this pitch-black energy ball, Yang Hongwu could feel a terrifying power. It was filled with corrosiveness. Wherever it went, space would collapse. What a tyrannical snake venom. Yang Hongwu knew that this was the Snake King's venom. This attack could even corrode space. He had to admit that this attack was extremely terrifying. At least, it was the most tyrannical attack that Yang Hongwu had ever seen. Yang Hongwu knew what Snake King was trying to do. It seemed like Snake King wanted to kill him, but in fact, Snake King's goal was to break the space and send a message to Tai Tulong. However, how could this be hidden from Yang Hongwu? What about Wu? Haha, you beast. You're pretty smart, but it's a pity. Although your venom is tyrannical and can corrode space, it's not that easy to break through my formation. If you're a few more realms stronger, you might reach the sovereign realm. You might be able to do it in the later stages, but it's impossible now. Yang Hongwu laughed heartily. He dodged the attack and allowed the snake venom to attack the formation. This isolation formation wasn't something that could be casually set up. Yang Hongwu had used the life seal and the scroll of fortune to set it up. Unless there was a coordinated attack from the outside, a mere sovereign realm expert wouldn't be able to break through this formation. Even a cultivator who had entered the Tao through formations wouldn't be able to do it. Damn it, damned human. How can he have such a powerful formation? Snake King saw that his plan had failed. His attack couldn't corrode the formation and break the space to send his message to Tai Tulong. This infuriated him. Human, are you determined to go against me? Do you know how powerful my master Tai Tulong is? If you regret it now, it's not too late. Otherwise, you'll die without a burial place. You can't even imagine how strong he is. Even the strongest person in the lands of Heavenspan, the sovereign Heavenspan, might not be able to defeat him. You're courting death, don't you know that? Yang Hongwu sneered. You're just a little worm. Although your master is a late-stage sovereign realm expert, he's still far from the Tongtian sovereign realm expert. How dare you be so arrogant? Hand it over and kill yourself. If you do, I'll give you a chance to reincarnate. Snake King actually dared to threaten him at a time like this. He really didn't know what was wrong with his brain. Did he think he was a fool? Kid, you deserve to die. Snake King was smart, but he had no other choice. He only had one chance, and that was to kill Yang Hongwu. This formation was so powerful, but as long as he killed Yang Hongwu, he would be able to break it. He would definitely be able to break it. Die for me. Snake King opened his mouth and spat out a ball of black light. This ball of black light instantly flew towards Yang Hongwu. To Yang Hongwu's surprise, this ball of black light instantly invaded his soul. Soul poison? Yang Hongwu was incomparably shocked. This was a soul poison, a cursed soul poison. The price to use the cursed soul poison was enormous. This cursed soul poison could ignore space and attack others. Yang Hongwu had not expected the Snake King to have such a trick up his sleeve. That was why he had fallen for it. Chapter 1888. What a joke. It's just a soul poison. How can it make me submit? The word surrender doesn't exist in my life. Yang Hongwu snorted coldly and circulated his cultivation technique. The Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique was circulated to the extreme, and the karmic fire of the Red Lotus was also activated. He wanted to force the soul poison out of his body. The cursed soul poison was a type of curse. Although the curse technique was powerful, Yang Hongwu's Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique and the karmic fire of the Red Lotus were the nemesis of the cursed soul poison. However, it wouldn't be able to remove the soul poison in a short period of time. It would be enough to remove the soul poison. Brat, you're courting death. You're dreaming if you want to live after being poisoned by my soul poison. Let me tell you, this soul poison is the most terrifying curse in the world. Other than me, no one can remove it. Not even my master can do it. So, if you surrender now, you'll still have a chance to live. But if you refuse, you'll definitely die." The Snake King laughed loudly. "Is that so? You think too highly of yourself. Any curse or poison technique is useless in front of me. This cursed soul poison might bring me some trouble, but it's impossible to kill me." Yang Hongwu shouted softly. The power of the heavenly divine dragon technique completely erupted. His body emitted a domineering dragon aura, and he turned into a huge dragon. Dragon's little bastard. It's actually a dragon. Seeing Yang Hongwu turn into a divine dragon, the Snake King's eyes lit up. He stared at Yang Hongwu with greed in his eyes. Dragons. He didn't expect Yang Hongwu to have such a powerful dragon. The bloodline of the human race gave him a terrifying pressure that suppressed his strength. He couldn't use it all. However, the Snake King wasn't worried. Instead, he was extremely excited. This was because he knew that Yang Hongwu had been poisoned by the soul poison and that only death awaited him. He didn't believe that anyone could cure the soul poison. Moreover, even if a Tao monarch who'd surpassed the ruler realm was able to cure the soul poison, it would consume a huge amount of energy. However, Yang Hongwu had clearly not reached that level. Therefore, it was impossible for him to get rid of the soul poison. Even if Yang Hongwu managed to get rid of the soul poison, it would consume a great deal of energy. When that time came, how would Yang Hongwu be able to contend against him? In this way, he would be able to devour his true dragon bloodline and allow his bloodline to undergo a perfect evolution. At that time, his cultivation and strength would advance by leaps and bounds. The Snake King understood himself very well. The reason why his cultivation was so difficult to improve was because his bloodline had been restricted. His cultivation level had reached the sovereign level, which was the limit. Therefore, unless he improved his bloodline, he would not be able to improve. Therefore, when Yang Hongwu revealed his dragon form, the Snake King wasn't afraid. Instead, he was unusually excited. To be able to suppress his strength so much, one could see how noble and pure the power of the other party's bloodline was. Yang Hongwu, who had transformed into a huge dragon, pounced on the Snake King. The huge dragon body released a majestic power. Coupled with the power of the formation, how explosive was it? With a claw, everything in front of him was destroyed in an instant. The Snake King's expression changed when he saw this. Yang Hongwu, who had transformed into a divine dragon, was too strong and domineering. If he couldn't resist, he would be in big trouble. However, he couldn't move aside. This was a big problem. However, he couldn't fight Yang Hongwu head-on. After all, he was a snake and Yang Hongwu was a dragon. The suppression of their bloodlines was too great. He was no match for Yang Hongwu at all. However, if he moved aside, the treasure would be attacked. If the restriction was broken, he would be in big trouble. At that time, his master, Tai Tulong, would definitely not let him go. This was what the Snake King was most worried about. He wasn't worried about Yang Hongwu. As long as he could buy time, it would be enough. Once the soul poison took effect, Yang Hongwu would definitely die. But the problem now was that Yang Hongwu wouldn't give him the chance to buy time. Would Yang Hongwu let him go? If he didn't move aside, it would be difficult for him to resist. Damn it! At this moment, Snake King was caught in a dilemma. However, Yang Hongwu didn't give him a choice. After a round of attacks, Yang Hongwu transformed back into his human form. He clenched his battle saber, and a cold light burst out from his eyes. Divine Dragon breaks the sky. Previously, Yang Hongwu had transformed into his dragon form and sent the Snake King flying. After that, he transformed into his human form. He poured his magic power into his saber and slashed out. The saber light soared into the sky and turned into a giant dragon. It pounced on the Snake King again. Damn it! The Snake King was sent flying once. Facing Yang Hongwu's second attack, he was infuriated. He was actually being suppressed by a kid who had been poisoned. Even though his strength was being suppressed, it was still too sullen. As Tai Tulong's battle pet and a sovereign realm expert, he had always been high and mighty. Why had he ever been in such a sorry state? But there was nothing he could do. Yang Hongwu's attack sent the Snake King flying again. He felt immense pressure. There was a terrifying power brewing in this space. It was the power of Yang Hongwu's formation. It was very strong. Even though he was a sovereign realm expert, the power was even more terrifying. Destruction Heaven Palace, suppress. Yang Hongwu's thoughts moved. After the Snake King was sent flying, a huge palace flew out. It was the Destruction Heaven Palace. It instantly enveloped the Snake King's head, making it impossible for him to escape. At this moment, the Snake King was being suppressed by the massive palace. Then, Yang Hongwu activated the devouring furnace. At the same time, a ball of fire flew out from Yang Hongwu's body. The entire space turned into a sea of fire. It was the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Damn it, how can this be? Is this the karmic fire of the Red Lotus? If he had been at his peak, he would have been able to resist the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. But now his strength was suppressed and he was injured. There was no way he could resist the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. The Snake King let out a miserable cry. At this time, Yang Hongwu didn't stop. The Snake King was a sovereign realm expert. How could he die so easily? To be sure, Yang Hongwu used the Yin-Yang curse. Soul Lock Curse, a soul attack. While the Snake King was trying his best to resist the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and the devouring furnace, his soul suffered a great blow. In an instant, his soul collapsed. The Sovereign Realm Snake King was instantly killed by Yang Hongwu. He couldn't be more dead. Chapter 1889. I'd like to see what exactly this thing is that Tai Tulong values it so much. From the outside, Yang Hongwu could not see what exactly this thing that was nurtured by the spirit vein was. However, it was definitely extraordinary. As for the Snake King, it was refined into a divine origin pill by Yang Hongwu. When Yang Hongwu opened a restriction, he saw an altar in the middle of the hall. The altar sat on top of the spirit vein, and spiritual energy was frantically pouring into the altar. Is this thing an altar? Yang Hongwu was extremely curious. He hadn't expected the thing that was frantically devouring spiritual energy to be such an altar. Could it be that there was something special about this altar? Yang Hongwu couldn't see what was so special about this altar that Tai Tulong valued it so much. No, could this be the legendary mortal life altar? Yang Hongwu took a deep breath as he recalled something. It was rumored that other than the 8 great divine talismans, there was another incomparably powerful treasure that was ejected from the Fortune Heavenly Gate. This treasure was an altar. This altar was the legendary mortal altar, and any living being would be able to reap the benefits of its life. All of them could use this altar, and through offering sacrifices, they could obtain supreme power. How could an altar that Tai Tulong placed so much importance on be simple? Therefore, Yang Hongwu guessed that this altar was very likely the legendary mortal life altar. Once one obtained the real mortal life altar, one could obtain power or treasures of equivalent value by sacrificing anything. The more precious the sacrifice, the better the treasures one would obtain. It was rumored that during the primordial era, a supreme expert had obtained the altar of the common life and turned from a piece of trash with no cultivation base and extremely poor aptitude into a supreme expert. Yang Hongwu didn't know the extent of that expert's strength. Perhaps it was just a legend, but Yang Hongwu had no more doubts after seeing this altar. Regardless of whether this was the real mortal life altar or not, one thing was certain. This altar was definitely related to the mortal life altar. Come here. Yang Hongwu reached out and grabbed the altar. Whether it was the mortal life altar or not, he had to obtain this treasure. It was a pity that he couldn't accelerate the ripening of the chaotic star flower. Yang Hongwu's magic power was very powerful, but what made him disappointed was that this altar was erupting with a powerful force. He simply couldn't grab it. The resistance of this altar was too strong. Not only did Yang Hongwu fail to obtain the altar, but he also suffered a backlash. His body was sent flying, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He stared fixedly at the altar. He was getting more and more excited. This altar was really something. He couldn't take it. I don't believe that I can't subdue a mere altar. Yang Hanwu walked towards the altar once more, circulating the 9 heavens divine dragon art to its maximum. He had already collected the world seed. That was a supreme treasure of the divine flame mountain. Could it be that he could not collect this altar in the myriad dragon mountain? Yang Hanwu didn't believe that. No matter how strong this altar was, it was just an incomplete altar. If it was a complete mortal life altar, he might not be able to subdue it. However, this altar was incomplete, just like the immortal god talisman and the mortal life great seal. Back then, if he had found the complete life seal, he would not have been able to subdue it and make it recognize him as its master. It was the same for the immortal god talisman. He had only obtained a part of the immortal god talisman, the immortal god tablet. Only then could he refine it. The altar in front of him was a powerful treasure. If it had been a complete treasure, he would not have been able to refine it and make it recognize him as its master. However, since it was an incomplete altar, there was still a way for him to obtain it. It was just that he would have to spend a lot of effort. It was just a small price. Yang Hanwu actually wanted to give this altar to his son, Yang Tianjun. However, after thinking about it, he gave up the idea. This treasure was too precious, and it was incomplete. He didn't know how much it would cost to complete it. Moreover, if news of this supreme treasure leaked out, it would attract the attention of countless experts. Perhaps even the Lord of the Self-Defense Divine Palace, would covet it. Therefore, it wasn't suitable to give it to Yang Tianjun. His cultivation wasn't high enough. If he was targeted by others, he wouldn't be able to survive. It was more suitable for him to keep it. He would give it to his son, Yang Tianjun, when he found a suitable treasure in the future. Yang Hanwu felt ashamed facing Yang Tianjun. As a father, he didn't fulfill his responsibilities as a father. He didn't help Yang Tianjun at all. Although he didn't know it, Yang Hanwu still blamed himself. Mortal life, great seal, suppress. Yang Hanwu had failed several times, and he frowned. If that was the case, he had no choice but to use some other method. Thus, Yang Hanwu took out the Mortal Life Grand Seal. The Mortal Life Grand Seal and the Mortal Life Sacrificial Altar both had the word mortal in their names. They seemed to come from the same source. However, the current Mortal Life Seal was extremely powerful. It seemed to be even stronger than the Mortal Life Altar. In addition to the power of the formation and his own strength, it was still possible for this supreme treasure to suppress it. Come here. Yang Hongwu's brow was covered in sweat. His mental energy had been greatly consumed. This was truly worthy of being the Mortal Life Altar. It was so powerful. Even if he used the power of the Mortal Life Seal and borrowed the suppression of the formation, it was only with great difficulty that he managed to store the Mortal Life Altar into his divine manner. Inside, however, it wasn't easy to refine the Mortal Life Altar. Yang Hanwu needed the power of the Mortal Life Great Seal and the Scroll of Fortune to suppress it. Yang Hanwu was helpless. Yang Hanwu understood why Tai Tulong wanted to use the spirit vein to nourish the Mortal Life Altar. One was to restore the Mortal Life Altar, and the other was to slowly subdue and refine this altar. The spirit vein was actually the energy source of the formation and restriction. It wasn't only used to refine the altar, but also to seal off this space to prevent outsiders from finding out. Chapter 1890. How to deal with the problem brought about by the altar of the common life was also a huge problem. After all, if he couldn't spare all his strength, he wouldn't be able to deal with Tai Tulong. This was the key. If he couldn't deal with Tai Tulong, not only would he not be able to seize Iron Mountain City, but he would also be in great danger, possibly leading to his death. All right, you can come in now. Yang Hanwu walked out. At this moment, the formation that Tai Tulong had set up had already disappeared. Anya Shinv and the others could naturally see it. Pan and I and the others hurried in after receiving Yang Hongwu's message. They looked at Yang Hongwu and asked, "What a terrifying snake king. Are you all right?" It was obvious that they were very worried about Yang Hongwu. "I'm fine. It's just a small snake. Killing it is as easy as flipping my hand." Yang Hongwu threw out a pill. It was the Origin Divine pill. He had given it to Yang Tianjun. "Take this pill. It's good for you. It's good for you." It was another Origin Divine pill. Although Yang Tianjun hadn't fully recovered, the Origin Divine pills that Yang Hongwu had given him had helped him recover a lot. His cultivation was now at the peak of the Divine Emperor realm. However, because his bloodline had been extracted, it would take some time for him to recover. More importantly, without his bloodline recovered, it would be very difficult for him to cultivate. It would be much more difficult for him to improve, and the speed of his cultivation would be much slower. "I'm going to try to hasten the ripening of this Chaos Star flower," Yang Hongwu said. "We don't have much time, so we have to do it quickly." "With this spirit vein?" Pan and I said. "It will take a long time to really hasten the ripening. It's impossible to do it without a year or so. We don't have that much time." It was true. How could it be so easy to hasten the ripening of a supreme divine herb? There was no way around it if there wasn't enough time. Generally speaking, it would take at least a few decades, 100 years, or even a few thousand years to ripen a supreme divine herb. This was very normal. "Don't worry. I'm confident," Yang Hongwu said. "You all have a good rest first. I've already set up a formation here. People from the outside won't be able to discover it. Moreover, even if they discover it, it won't be easy to come in. Even if Tai Tulong comes, he'll need at least a day or two to break into my formation." This was Yang Hongwu's confidence. The array he set up was not that simple. Even though Tai Tulong's cultivation base was strong, and he might even be a powerful array master, Yang Hongwu didn't think that there was anyone in the Tongtian continent who could compare with him in terms of attainments in array formations. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to expend energy to suppress the altar of the common life, the formation he had set up would be even more powerful. After explaining everything, Yang Hongwu took out the Chaos Star Flower. It would take a very long time to mature the Chaos Star Flower just by relying on this spirit vein. However, Yang Hongwu had a treasure that would allow Yang Hongwu to mature the Chaos Star in the shortest time possible. The Chaos Star Flower would mature. This was the Creation Chi. The Creation Chi was of a higher level than the power of chaos and the power of the stars. If it weren't for the fact that the Creation Chi extracted from the Creation Sacred Tree was very scarce, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have needed this spirit vein to mature the Chaos Star Flower. Yang Hongwu set up a spirit gathering array on top of the array formation that Tai Tulong had set up. Then, he infused the Creation Chi into the Chaotic Star Flower. That wasn't all. Yang Hongwu had also set up a Chaos Star Array. This Chaos Star Array wasn't used for battle. Instead, it was used to draw in Chaos Chi and Star Power into the array formation and fuse with the Chaos Star Flower. This was to allow the Chaos Star Flower to mature. Pan and I and the others were stunned when they saw what Yang Hongwu had done. The moment the formation was activated, boundless spirit Chi frantically poured into the Chaos Star Flower. Furthermore, the entire formation also drew on the power of chaos and the power of the stars. Yang Hongwu had saved some time to deal with the situation at the altar of the common life. Refine. With a thought, Yang Hongwu's powerful consciousness entered the altar of the common life. He wanted to refine the altar. Yang Hongwu frowned. The resistance of the altar was so strong that Yang Hongwu frowned. Damn it, this altar isn't that easy to refine. This gave Yang Hongwu a headache, but he had no choice. He had to refine the altar of the common life in the shortest time possible. He still had a world seed in his hand that he hadn't completely refined, but he'd already integrated it into the common life great world. With a thought, Yang Hongwu thought that perhaps this altar could also be integrated into the common life great world. Although the altar of the common life hadn't been refined, it had been suppressed. Therefore, Yang Hongwu could easily bring the altar of the common life into the common life great world. After entering the common life great world, Yang Hongwu could borrow the power of the entire common life great world to refine the altar of the common life. This would be much easier. Power of the common life, refined for me. Yang Hongwu roared, and the power of the world in the common life great world was mobilized, forming a huge furnace. This furnace was crazily burning the altar of the common life. However, the power of this altar of the common life was too strong. Its power level wasn't any weaker than the common life great world. Not yielding, a cold light flashed in Yang Hongwu's eyes. If he couldn't refine it, couldn't subdue it, then he wouldn't hesitate to destroy it. If he could completely shatter this altar of the common life, refine its source, and integrate it into the common life great world, then perhaps the common life great world would rise to another level, and the great seal of the common life would be upgraded. Sensing Yang Hongwu's intention to destroy the altar of the common life, the altar of the common life trembled, as if it knew what Yang Hongwu was thinking. In truth, the altar of the common life wasn't a complete altar of the common life. It didn't have a weapon spirit, but it still had a part of its consciousness that could sense Yang Hongwu's thoughts. This scene was seen by Yang Hongwu. Good fellow, it seems like you still have a bit of consciousness. If you don't yield, then I'll destroy you completely. Don't think that I can't do it. Yang Hongwu was overjoyed. As long as the altar of the common life had a bit of consciousness, then it couldn't be better. If he wanted to refine it, he would have a greater chance of success. The altar of the common life trembled for a moment before it finally regained its calm. Chapter 1891. What surprised Yang Hongwu was that the mortal life altar was really related to the great mortal life seal. The two of them came from the same source. Furthermore, Yang Hongwu had also obtained some information about the creation heavenly gate. Inside the creation heavenly gate was a boundless multiverse. The so-called multiverse was a cosmic space formed by many multiverses. It was vast and boundless. The fortune gate was actually equivalent to a spatial passageway. In other words, it was the gate of the universe. This gate connected the multiverse on this side and the multiverse on the other side of the fortune gate. Yang Hongwu wasn't certain about this information, but it was enough to shock Yang Hongwu. Yang Hongwu had heard of the concept of the multiverse before he had transmigrated. However, he had never heard of this information after transmigrating. Perhaps only Dao Lord powerhouses would know about it. Someone at GG's level should know a little about it. However, in any case, this wasn't the time to think about it. After all, Yang Hongwu's cultivation base was far from that level. Right now, the most important thing for Yang Hongwu was to find a way to leave this place and return to the deity realm. However, this would take some time. As for the immediate goal, it was to let his son, Yang Tianjun, cultivate the chaotic star body first. After Yang Hongwu truly refined the mortal life altar, he opened his eyes. At this moment, the chaotic star flower had completely absorbed the spirit vein of the entire myriad dragon mountain. This surprised Yang Hongwu. Anya Shin, Pan and I, and Yang Tianjun took advantage of this opportunity to absorb a lot of spirit qi. Pan and I and Anya Shin, in particular, had experienced a significant increase in their strength. Although they hadn't broken through yet, there were faint signs of breakthrough. This was due to the fortune qi that he had fused into the array formation, as well as the power of the stars and the power of the primal chaos. These three powers were ancient and powerful. Under normal circumstances, the three of them wouldn't have been able to refine them at all. This was because these powers were too domineering. This was especially true for the fortune qi, which was an extremely ancient and powerful origin source power. If one's physical body wasn't strong enough, it wouldn't have been able to withstand these powers. Damn it, the Chaos Star Flower is still a bit off. Yang Hongwu stared at the Chaos Star Flower before him. It was only a little bit away from fully maturing, but Yang Hongwu frowned. Yang Hongwu sensed Tai Tulong's aura outside. Tai Tulong's aura had appeared outside the myriad dragon mountains. This meant that Tai Tulong was on his way here and would arrive soon. It seemed like Tai Tulong had already suspected something, or perhaps he already knew about this place. What happened was, the situation was urgent. They had to leave this place first. However, the chaotic starflower was still a little bit away from fully maturing. This made Yang Hongwu very angry. Father, what is it? Yang Tianjun could not help but ask when he saw Yang Hongwu's ugly expression. The chaos starflower only needs a little more time. Half a day at most, and it will be fully ripe. There's not enough time. Yang Hongwu shook his head. Tai Talong is on his way. Husband, didn't you say that this formation can stop him? Pan and I asked. It can. If that's the case, I'm afraid we won't be able to seize Iron Mountain City. Besides what? Anya Shin looked at Yang Hongwu. Young master, is there a problem? Yang Hongwu sighed and said, I have an ominous premonition. Ominous premonition? Pan and I was stunned. Husband, why don't you tell us? We can think of a solution together. If it really doesn't work, we can just leave. That's right, father. It doesn't matter if the Chaos Starflower isn't fully matured. As for Iron Mountain City, we don't have to take it, Yang Tianjun said. Although he really wanted to obtain the complete Chaotic Star Body, he could delay it if it really didn't work. As for the position of City Lord of Iron Mountain City, he had never thought of it. It was only because Yang Hongwu had said that he was confident he could take Iron Mountain City that he had thought about it. In fact, if he could obtain Iron Mountain City, it would be a great benefit. However, if he couldn't obtain it, he wouldn't lose anything. After all, Iron Mountain City wasn't his to begin with. No, it's not a problem with the Skyspan continent, Yang Hongwu said. It's not the Skyspan continent. Anya Shen frowned. Could it be a problem with the Dark Knight continent? Yang Hongwu smiled bitterly and shook his head. No, the Dark Knight continent is nothing to me. Even if the entire Dark Knight continent is destroyed, it won't cause any loss to me. Yang Hongwu was telling the truth. Back then, he had entered the Dark Knight continent by accident. Therefore, he didn't really care about the Dark Knight continent. It could be said that Yang Hongwu cared about the Dark Knight continent the most. It was Anya Shen. Now, Anya Shen was by his side. Therefore, Anya Shen didn't need to worry. Is it the Divine Realm? Pan and I asked. What's the problem with the common people's great world? If it wasn't the Skyspan continent or the Dark Knight continent, then it could only be the Divine Realm. Pan and I had some understanding of the Divine Realm. As for the common people's Divine Realm, Pan and I already knew about it. After all, Yang Hongwu had already obtained the common people's Great Seal. Although he hadn't really collected it completely, the common people's Divine Realm was within the Great Seal. Therefore, the common people's Great World contained that part of the common people's Divine Realm. It's not the common people's Great World. Right now, the common people's Great World is very safe. As long as nothing happens to me, the common people's Great World will be fine, Yang Hongwu said. He shook his head. It's the Divine Realm. I feel that something bad is about to happen. One of us is in danger. Therefore, I have to find a way to rush back. A way to return to the Divine Realm. Pan and I frowned. I'm afraid it's very difficult, unless we can find something in the Skyspan continent. Chapter 1892. The Planar Vessel. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. If that was the case, he would really have to find the planar vessel. Although he had the void travel technique, it wasn't easy for him to travel between planes and return to the Divine Dominion. This was a huge problem. If it really exists, I must get it. Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed with a cold light. The test to enter the next temple is not important. However, I must get my hands on this planar boat. Anyone who dares to touch it will be my enemy. Husband, we will definitely help you, said Pan and I. Father, where is the Divine Dominion? Asked Yang Tianjun. Is it that important? Tianjun, you are my son. You should be cultivating by my side, but it's too dangerous. Yang Hongwu sighed. To be honest, I didn't fulfill my responsibility as a father. Husband, you don't have to be like this. It's not your fault. Pan and I hurriedly said. It's my fault. If it weren't for me, Junior wouldn't have ended up like this. His bloodline wouldn't have been taken away. Pan and I blamed herself. Father, Mother doesn't blame you. Yang Tianjun said. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been so arrogant, Mother wouldn't have been implicated by me. Now's not the time to talk about this. Sir, don't you want to leave? The most important thing now is Tai Tulong, said Anya Shenv. Yes. Yang Hongwu nodded. Although he had subdued the mortal life altar, leaving was a problem because the Chaos Star flower hadn't matured yet. However, Yang Hongwu suddenly thought of something. Perhaps he could give it a try. The mortal life altar. You guys make way. Yang Hongwu sacrificed a few treasures to connect with the mortal life altar. Although the 3 treasures weren't supreme treasures, they were close to the limit. These treasures weren't of much use to Yang Hongwu. He wanted to test the limit and see if it would work. When Yang Hongwu communicated with the altar, the treasure was sacrificed. Subsequently, something that caused Yang Hongwu to be shocked occurred. Chaotic life soil. It really was chaotic life soil. This was exactly what he wanted by sacrificing his treasures. Although it was only a little, it was enough. With this mixed life soil, it would be enough for the Chaos Star flower to mature. What is this? Seeing the small ball in Yang Hongwu's hand, everyone was surprised. What a dense primal chaos aura. Living soil? Pan and I opened her eyes wide. She had seen the soil of life before. However, she had never seen the chaotic soil of life before. Back then, she had seen the 9 heaven soil of life in the desolate continent. It was something that Niwa had used to create humans. However, the living soil was clearly inferior to this lump of living soil. Yes, this is chaotic life soil. Yang Hongwu said, this small clump of breathing soil should be enough to make this Chaos Star flower mature. Isn't this a little too wasteful? Asked Pan and I. That's right, Father. Using this chaotic life soil to mature this Chaos Star flower that's about to mature is really too wasteful. Why don't you keep this chaotic life soil first? As for the Chaos Star flower, you can nurture it for a period of time. Yang Tianjun also said, I don't have time. I don't have that much time. Yang Hongwu shook his head and said, Tianjun, I'm not a good father. I don't have that much time to help you cultivate. With that, Yang Hongwu directly threw the clump of living soil into the Chaos Star flower. In an instant, the Chaos Star flower shone brightly as boundless spiritual energy poured into the flower. At this moment, the Chaos Star flower was about to mature. After a few breaths, a strange fragrance wafted out. The Chaos Star flower had matured. With a thought, Yang Hongwu grabbed the Chaos Star flower and slapped it with his hand, sending it into Yang Tianjun's body. Tianjun, you stay here and cultivate. Refine your sacred body. Pan and I, you two protect Tianjun. I'll deal with Tai Tulong, Yang Hongwu said to Pan and I and Anya Shenv. I'll go help you, said Anya Shenv. I can help you. Yang Hongwu shook his head. He knew what Anya Shen was talking about. That was Anya Shen's trump card. Although it was powerful, it wasn't much of a threat to Tai Tulong. It's useless. That thing isn't much of a threat to Tai Tulong. You two should stay in this formation. Don't worry, I have a plan. Tai Tulong is very strong, but I've never fought a battle that I'm not confident in winning. I understand. As he spoke, Yang Hongwu's thoughts stirred, and he disappeared on the spot. After leaving Myriad Dragon Mountain, Yang Hongwu connected to the Mortal Life Altar. The Mortal Life Altar could be used to obtain many treasures, secret techniques, treasures, etc. Everything could be obtained through the Mortal Life Altar. However, it wasn't that easy. The better the treasures one obtained, the more sacrifices one had to make. It wasn't equivalent. The items one obtained were equivalent to 1/10 of the treasure sacrificed. For example, Yang Hongwu had sacrificed 3 supreme treasures to obtain a clump of chaotic soil of life. That clump of chaotic soil of life was only the size of a finger. It was only a small clump because the Chaos Star flower was only a little bit off. Only when it matured would it be enough. Seeing Tai Tulong rushing over, Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. It wouldn't be easy to deal with Tai Tulong. He had to think of a way. The best way was to drive the tiger to devour the wolf. Yang Hongwu knew from the Snake King that Tai Tulong had a nemesis. His nemesis was the old ancestor of Shanghai City. Back then, Tai Tulong and Shanghai Guanyue, the old ancestor of Shanghai City, had come to Tongtian continent together. The two of them had entered a secret realm, where Shanhai Guanyue had discovered a stalk of a supreme divine herb. Just as he was about to obtain it, he was stopped. Just as he was about to take it away, Tai Tulong had schemed against him and snatched it away. From then on, Tai Tulong and Shanhai Guanyue had become enemies. If Tai Tulong didn't have a powerful battle pet like the Snake King, Shanhai Guanyue would have sought revenge. Shanhai Guanyue's strength was actually on par with Tai Tulong's. Unfortunately, Tai Tulong had a powerful battle pet like the Snake King. Their combined strength wasn't as simple as 1 + 1. Shanhai Guanyue wasn't a match at all. If Shanhai Guanyue knew that he had killed the Snake King battle pet, he wouldn't let go of such an opportunity. Chapter 1893. Who are you? How dare you block my path? Tai Tulong shouted when he sensed that someone was blocking his path. A powerful aura erupted from his body. Yang Hongwu's figure appeared. He looked at the other party and said, Iron Mountain City's old ancestor, Tai Tulong, who are you? Since you know who I am, why don't you get out of my way? Tai Tulong did not want to waste any time here. His mood was unsettled, which meant that something bad had happened. It was just like when Tai Meng had been killed. This time, what he was most worried about was the item in the 10,000 Dragon Mountain. He had paid a huge price to suppress it. If the item that he wanted to subdue was taken away by someone, the loss would be too great. Compared to that, the entire Iron Mountain City was not that important. If Iron Mountain City was gone, he could spend some money to rebuild it. However, that item was related to his future. It was related to whether he could break through the bottleneck and enter a new realm. Therefore, that item was especially important to him. If that was not the case, he would not have spent so much effort to set up a formation and let Snake King guard it. However, he had no way of contacting Snake King. This was what worried him the most. If that was not the case, he would not be in such a hurry to rush to Myriad Dragon Mountain. Now, a stranger was blocking his path. It was very strange. Moreover, the other party's cultivation was only at the Divine Emperor realm. A mere Divine Emperor realm cultivator dared to block his path. This showed how bold he was. There was a strange feeling in the air. Get out of my way. Yang Hongwu smiled. Tai Tulong, you want to go to Myriad Dragon Mountain? If you don't get out of my way, don't blame me for being impolite. Tai Tulong was anxious and did not want to waste any more time. He reached out his hand and tried to grab Yang Hongwu. In his mind, Yang Hongwu was just a Divine Emperor warrior, while he was a Divine Emperor. He could easily take him down with a single grab. As expected of a late-stage Sovereign Realm expert, your strength is terrifying, Yang Hongwu said. He activated the Void Traversal technique and dodged Tai Tulong's grab. Tai Tulong's face darkened when he realized that Yi Shiwen had dodged his attack. He was a Sovereign Realm expert, but he was unable to take down a mere Divine Emperor. What a brat. You can actually dodge my attack. Your strength is not weak, and your talent is astonishing. You are the most outstanding genius I have ever seen. Brat, if you are willing to take me as your master, I can let you go. Seeing Yang Hongwu's outstanding performance, Tai Tulong revealed a look of surprise. He was fond of talents. He could see that the reason Yang Hongwu was able to dodge his attack was not by chance. It was because this kid had comprehended the Tao of space. Such people were very rare, especially when the other party's cultivation was so weak. This was even more unusual. If he could take him in as a disciple, then the luck of Iron Mountain City would increase greatly, which would be of great benefit to him. This was why some experts would recruit extremely talented disciples. Firstly, it was because they could leave behind an inheritance for themselves. Secondly, it was because they could obtain luck. Although luck was illusory, it truly existed. Take you as my master. Yang Hongwu smiled. If you knew what I had done, you would probably hate me to the core. Could it be that you killed Tai Meng? Tai Tulong's expression changed when he heard Yang Hongwu's words. He stared at Yang Hongwu and said, Brat, how dare you? That's right. I killed him. Yang Hongwu said, Not only did I kill Tai Meng, but I also want to kill you. As he spoke, Yang Hongwu did not conceal his killing intent at all. What a joke. Brat, although your talent is not bad, you're still only a godly emperor. You say you killed Tai Meng, but I don't believe that. Your cultivation is too weak. Even if you used a sneak attack, you couldn't have killed Tai Meng. Tai Tulong still didn't believe it. After all, Yang Hongwu's cultivation was too weak. How could a godly emperor kill a peak emperor? After all, although Tai Meng was only a peak emperor, he could mobilize the power of Iron Mountain City. He was definitely comparable to a ruler. In fact, ordinary rulers definitely wouldn't be able to kill him, let alone kill him without giving him a chance to send message. However, there was one thing that was certain. Even if this brat didn't kill Tai Meng's death was inextricably linked to him. Perhaps the person behind this brat had colluded with Tai Xiaoyao. If that was the case, then there was a possibility that he had killed Tai Meng. After all, Tai Xiaoyao was Tai Meng's son. With his help, Tai Meng would have been able to silently enter Iron Mountain City. Only with Tai Xiaoyao's help would Tai Meng be able to kill him without being able to resist at all. Brat, it doesn't matter if it's you or not. Today, you'll have to pay the price. Unless you're willing to become my disciple, you'll die. Tai Tulong no longer concealed the baleful aura in his eyes. He guessed that this brat was here to stall for time. His purpose here was to stall for time. His opponent definitely wanted to stop him and buy time for his companions. At this moment, Yang Hongwu sensed that his aura had been locked onto by Tai Tulong. Tai Tulong wanted to kill him. If he didn't agree to Tai Tulong's request, Tai Tulong would kill him. You're not qualified to become my disciple, said Yang Hongwu with a laugh. You probably want to go to the Myriad Dragon Mountains to see that little snake of yours, right? If that's the case, then there's no need to go. I've already killed that little snake. Perhaps what you care about the most is the spirit vein, that treasure that's being nurtured there. I have to admit that it's truly a supreme treasure. It's filled with mysterious power. If you can obtain it, perhaps it can help you break through your current bottleneck. Unfortunately, it's mine now. After saying that, Yang Hongwu waved his hand. A huge formation instantly enveloped an area of 100 zhang. The surrounding space was completely sealed. A formation. Tai Tulong's expression changed. He was a sovereign realm expert. The instant Yang Hongwu's formation appeared, he sensed it. Once it appeared, the surrounding space was sealed. Moreover, this formation was filled with killing intent. It was a terrifying killing intent. This killing intent made him feel fear. This wasn't an ordinary formation. It surpassed any formation he had ever seen. Who are you? Tai Tulong forcefully suppressed the anger in his heart. He didn't dare to act rashly. Now that the space was sealed, the pressure from this formation was too great. He didn't dare to take any risks. He didn't know the origin of this person. Chapter 1894. A dead man doesn't need to know my name. Yang Hongwu said in a domineering manner. What arrogance! Tai Tulong was furious. How dare he speak to him in such a manner? Tai Tulong was trembling with anger. If you don't speak, you'll die. Tai Tulong's name wasn't a joke. He grabbed a giant axe in his hand. This was his weapon, a supreme treasure called the dragon-slaying axe. Countless experts had died under the dragon-slaying axe. Back then, Iron Mountain City was built by him. If it wasn't for this dragon-slaying axe, Iron Mountain City would have been destroyed long ago. This dragon-slaying axe had killed more than one sovereign realm true dragon. From this, one could see how terrifying this dragon-slaying axe was. Dragon-slaying axe kill. His anger was futile. He had used almost 80% of his strength in this strike. This strike was not a test, but a real attempt to kill Yang Hongwu. Of course, the most important thing was to lure out the person behind Yang Hongwu. If the person behind him did not appear, then if the person behind him didn't show up, he would kill Yang Hongwu. At least, in his opinion, Yang Hongwu wasn't alone. There must be an expert behind him. Otherwise, how could he have the guts to provoke him with his divine emperor realm cultivation? As for whether or not Yang Hongwu was concealing his cultivation, Tai Tulong was able to tell for sure. What a domineering axe. Dragon-slaying axe. You want to slay a dragon? You must be dreaming. Yang Hongwu was somewhat annoyed. It was one thing for this fella to be called Tai Tulong, but to think that he would have an axe that was also called the dragon-slaying axe. This was taboo. One should know that his cultivation technique was the Nine Heavens divine dragon technique. He could already transform into a divine dragon. In other words, he was a true dragon. Tai Tulong was courting death if he wanted to kill him. For this reason alone, Tai Tulong had to die. Yang Hongwu shouted and cast out the life seal. Great Seal of Life, Life Strike. The entire common life Great Seal seemed to have become a huge mountain, filled with the power to destroy the earth. For this strike, Yang Hongwu had mobilized the source power of the common life Great World. In addition to the power of the formation, there was also the common life sacrificial altar within the common life Great Seal. Although Yang Hongwu had not sacrificed anything, as the master of the common life sacrificial altar, he could still mobilize a portion of its power. After all, the common life sacrificial altar was a treasure of the same level as the common life Great Seal. Coming out was just as frightening. The huge seal instantly collided with the dragon-slaying axe. At this moment, two terrifying forces erupted. It was as if a monstrous wave had erupted in the mortal world. Everywhere it went, everything was destroyed and destroyed. Tai Tulong was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. He was unable to withstand this tyrannical power. Yang Hongwu was not having a good time either. After all, Tai Tulong was a late-stage sovereign realm expert and was extremely powerful. Even with the help of the common people's great world's power and the help of the formation, Yang Hongwu was barely able to contend against Tai Tulong. Tai Tulong's strength had exceeded his expectations. If he had not killed the Serpent King in the myriad dragon mountains, he would have been in big trouble. It should be known that once a cultivator and a battle pet work together, their fighting strength would not be as simple as 1 + 1. It could be said that if Tai Tulong and his battle pet worked together, his fighting strength would be at least 30% higher than it was now. Don't underestimate this 30% increase. This meant that with his late-stage sovereign strength, he could absolutely crush ordinary late-stage sovereigns. He could even fight against 2 late-stage sovereigns. Little B Asterisk starred. I have to admit that you're really strong. I wonder which old monster you are. But it's a pity that you've met me today. You're going to die here today. Tai Tulong stood up and looked at Yang Hongwu coldly. This formation is indeed very powerful. As long as I limit the power of this formation, you will die without a doubt. As Tai Tulong spoke, he took out an item. It was a formation disc. Yang Hongwu was shocked when he saw the formation disc in Tai Tulong's hand. This was no ordinary formation disc. As an extremely powerful formation master, how could he not know of the existence of this formation disc? This was the legendary reversal formation disc. The so-called reversal formation disc was a formation disc that had the power to reverse a formation. This kind of formation disc was very rare. The materials needed to refine it were the legendary space-time jade. This kind of space-time jade could only be found in the legendary river of space-time. It was extremely difficult to enter the river of space-time to find this kind of space-time jade. Sovereigns didn't have the ability to enter the river of space-time. What kind of place was the river of space-time? Unless one was strong enough. Only experts who had comprehended the Tao of time could enter the river of space-time. Moreover, they couldn't stay for long. Therefore, the space-time jade was too precious. The core of this reversal formation disc was the space-time jade. How could Yang Hongwu not be shocked when he saw that Tai Tulong had such a precious treasure? In fact, the space-time jade was extremely precious. It was too wasteful to use it to make a reversal formation disc. However, the moment Tai Tulong activated the formation disc, Yang Hongwu knew that things weren't going well. The formation had lost its effect the moment the formation disc was activated. Without the power of the formation, it was impossible for him to contend against Tai Tulong. After all, Tai Tulong's cultivation was 2 realms higher than his. One should know that he was only at the Divine Emperor realm, although he had reached the peak of the Divine Emperor realm. Although he was at the peak of the Divine Emperor realm, he was still far from the Sovereign realm. Little bastard, Now that you don't have the formation support, let's see how long you can be arrogant. Tai Tulong looked at Yang Hongwu and said coldly. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath. This was troublesome, the biggest problem. However, the reversal formation disc wasn't omnipotent. There was a limit to the space-time jade's power. The formation he had set up was so powerful that he could only use it once in a short period of time. He couldn't go head-on against Tai Tulong. He had just finished. Therefore, Yang Hongwu prepared to make a strategic retreat. Old man, let's meet again in Iron Mountain City. After saying that, Yang Hongwu's figure flashed and disappeared from where he stood. He had instantly entered another array formation. Nini, let's go. Yang Hongwu came to where Pan and I and the others were and pulled them up. Chapter 1895. Husband, where's Tai Tulong? Did you kill him? Pan and I asked. Yang Hongwu shook his head. No, Tai Tulong is too strong. Originally, I could have used my formation to suppress him, but I didn't expect him to have a reversal disc. That's why I'm not his match right now. But that's why I have to go to the Iron Mountain City now. This is our best chance. Let's go. With a thought, Yang Hongwu activated the void travel technique, and the four of them disappeared on the spot. In the next moment, they appeared outside the Iron Mountain City. Tai Tulong narrowed his eyes when he realized that Yang Hongwu was gone. But with the formation gone, Tai Tulong immediately noticed what had happened in the Myriad Dragon Mountains. He sensed that the Myriad Dragon Mountains had changed greatly. The spiritual energy there had become extremely thin. That meant that the spirit vein had been taken away. That wasn't what angered Tai Tulong the most. What infuriated him the most was that the Snake King was dead. His battle pet, the Snake King, had been killed. Not only that, but what was even worse was that his supreme treasure had also disappeared. That was his greatest trump card, his most important thing. He had a bad feeling before he came to the Myriad Dragon Mountains. He didn't expect that it would really happen. Little bastard, you deserve to die. You deserve to die 1,000 times over. My treasure, I'll definitely kill you. Tai Tulong roared. He scanned the surroundings with his divine consciousness. This must have something to do with Yang Hongwu. At first, he thought that Yang Hongwu was just a divine emperor, nothing to worry about. But after the battle, he realized how powerful Yang Hongwu was when he activated the formation. If he did not use the reversal formation disc, Yang Hongwu would have died. If he hadn't used the reversal disc, he would have been trapped by Yang Hongwu. He was a late-stage sovereign, but he couldn't even defeat Yang Hongwu, who was only a divine emperor. It was not hard to imagine how powerful Yang Hongwu was. For Tai Tulong, even his sworn enemy, Shan Haiguan Yue, had never been this concerned. But Yang Hongwu was the only one who made him feel fear. I must kill him. I must tear him to pieces. At this moment, Tai Tulong's eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. He wanted to kill Yang Hongwu and take back his treasures. This little bastard really knows how to hide. I wonder where he went. He had searched almost the entire 10,000 Dragon Mountain, but he still could not find Yang Hongwu's location. The Tao of Space? That little bastard actually knows the Tao of Space? Tai Tulong narrowed his eyes. If he couldn't find the Tao of Space within a radius of 1,000 zhong, then he had to find the Tao of Space within a radius of 10,000 zhong. However, what he didn't expect was that Yang Hongwu had already entered the Iron Mountain City. Right now, the person in charge of the Iron Mountain City was Tai Meng's son, Tai Xiaoyao. After Tai Meng's death, he was the strongest after Tai Tulong. As a result, the position of City Lord naturally fell into Tai Xiaoyao's hands. To Tai Xiaoyao, this was a great thing. He had easily obtained the position of City Lord, which made him extremely happy. However, Tai Xiaoyao wasn't an idiot. Since this person had silently killed Tai Meng in Iron Mountain City, that person's strength was definitely terrifying. After all, Tai Meng's cultivation was a bit higher than his own. Since this person had killed Tai Meng without making a sound, that person's strength was definitely terrifying. If this person could kill Tai Meng, this meant that this person could also kill him. As a result, Tai Xiaoyao was extremely careful. He He didn't dare to give this person the slightest chance. He was extremely worried about his own safety. After all, he didn't want to die. He had only become the city lord of the Iron Mountain City not long ago. If he died like this, it would be too worthless. I really don't know who killed that old bastard Tai Meng. If possible, I really want to work with him. In fact, Tai Xiaoyao's ambition was great. He knew very well that even though he was the city lord, he didn't have much control over the Iron Mountain City. The Iron Mountain City didn't have much power. 70% of the city's origin was in Tai Tulong's hands. As the city lord, he only controlled 30%. Now that he had obtained 30% of the Iron Mountain City's essence and destiny, his cultivation base had advanced a step further. He was now only a sliver away from the sovereign realm. If he could obtain even more of the Iron Mountain City's essence and destiny, his strength would reach a whole new level. The ruler realm. If I can kill that old bastard Tai Tulong as well, that would be even better, Tai Xiaoyao murmured. Little did he know that Yang Hongwu had already entered the city. Moreover, he was inside the city lord's mansion. Looking at Tai Xiaoyao, Yang Hongwu couldn't help but laugh inwardly. This guy's ambition was great. Moreover, he actually wanted to kill Tai Tulong. How bold! Didn't he know that Iron Mountain City was only able to survive because of Tai Tulong? If it wasn't for Tai Tulong, the city would have fallen into the hands of others long ago. How could it have survived for so long? Who is it? Suddenly, Tai Xiaoyao's expression changed. As the city lord, he felt a trace of strangeness at this moment. Yang Hongwu smiled. He didn't expect that he would be exposed at a time like this. Tai Xiaoyao, who are you? Newcomer? Who let you in? How dare you? This is the city lord's mansion of my Iron Mountain City. Do you know that trespassing here is a crime punishable by death? He thought that Yang Hongwu was a guard of the city. However, he hadn't seen this person before. He thought that he was a newcomer because he had never seen him before. In truth, Yang Hongwu knew that Tai Xiaoyao was pretending. He had already called out Tai Xiaoyao's name. Yet Tai Xiaoyao was still pretending not to know. One had to admit that Tai Xiaoyao's acting skills were truly astonishing. In fact, Tai Xiaoyao was doing it on purpose. This person was actually able to enter the city lord's mansion without anyone noticing. Moreover, Tai Xiaoyao recalled Tai Meng's death. Wasn't he also silently killed in the city lord's mansion back then? Is that so? This person before him was probably the one who had killed Tai Meng back then. If this person could easily kill Tai Meng, then he could also kill him. Therefore, Tai Xiaoyao wanted to stall for time and send a message to Tai Tulong. At this time, no one could save him. If this person before him was the murderer, then the only person who could save him was Tai Tulong. Chapter 1896. You want to kill Tai Tulong? Asked Yang Hongwu. Hearing Yang Hongwu's words, Tai Xiaoyao was delighted. Yang Hongwu's question meant that he still had a way out. If Yang Hongwu wanted to kill him, he wouldn't need to say so much. How does young master know? Asked Tai Xiaoyao. Tai Tulong, that old bastard. Back then, it was because he helped that bastard Tai Meng. Otherwise, my mother wouldn't have died. Tai Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with hatred as he said this. This was the truth. Back then, his mother's death had a lot to do with Tai Meng and Tai Tulong. As a result, Tai Xiaoyao hated Tai Meng to the bone. Tai Tulong was also an accomplice. However, Tai Tulong was too strong, so he didn't dare say anything. Now that that old bastard Tai Meng is dead, if I find out who helped me kill him, I'll personally thank them. If young master is willing to help me kill Tai Tulong, I'll naturally be endlessly grateful. Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Xiaoyao. This guy was very shrewd and as cunning as a fox. However, in the face of absolute strength, any schemes would be futile. It's good to have ambition. If you cooperate with me, you'll be able to do it. If you cooperate with me, killing Tai Tulong won't be difficult. But right now, what I want you to do is give up your position as the city lord. Tai Xiaoyao's expression changed. If young master wants to be the city lord of Iron Mountain City, I naturally approve of it. However, in order to become the city lord, you must have the bloodline of Iron Mountain City. Without the bloodline of Iron Mountain City, young master can't control Iron Mountain City. Tai Xiaoyao was naturally unwilling to give up the position of City Lord. Once he gave up the position of City Lord, all his plans would fail. Moreover, after becoming City Lord, he would be high and mighty. Most importantly, after becoming City Lord, he would be able to enjoy the entire Iron Mountain. He would be able to cultivate with the source spiritual energy of the city and the blessing of Iron Mountain City. How could he be willing to give up such a good thing? You don't need to worry about that. Just hand over the City Lord's seal and cancel the contract. Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Xiaoyao. As long as you hand it over, I'll help you kill Tai Xiaoyao and avenge you. How about it? Hearing those words, Tai Xiaoyao was extremely furious in his heart. However, he did not dare to refuse because he knew very well that if he dared to refuse, his little life would likely be finished. I agree, young master, said Tai Xiaoyao humbly. In truth, if Yang Hongwu wasn't trying to seize Iron Mountain City, he wouldn't need to be so long-winded. He could have just killed. If he did that, then he wouldn't be able to refine the city. 2. After killing the city lord of a city, if he wanted to seize the city's source energy, he would be resisted by the city's source energy. It would be much more difficult to refine the city's source energy. If the city lord himself were to abdicate, hand over the city lord's seal, and cancel the contract, it would be different. That way, it would be much easier to refine the city's source energy. In Iron Mountain City, Tai Xiaoyao, the city lord, possessed the city lord's seal. Yet, he only controlled 30% of the city's source energy. Tai Tulong, on the other hand, controlled 70%. As such, it was much more difficult to seize the city's source energy. However, once Tai Xiaoyao grasped 30% of the city's source energy, he would be able to interfere with Tai Tulong. At that time, Tai Tulong would be unable to borrow the city's source energy. That way, it would be much easier to deal with him. That was Yang Hongwu's plan. If that wasn't the case, Yang Hongwu wouldn't have been in such a hurry to enter Iron Mountain City to cause trouble for Tai Xiaoyao. He could have just set up a spirit formation outside the city. Very well. Yang Hongwu nodded. If you work for me wholeheartedly, I won't mistreat you. I'll give you a chance to enter the next sacred hall. The sacred hall that Yang Hongwu was referring to was the Felling Sacred Hall. It was not easy to enter the fourth Felling Sacred Hall. There were countless geniuses in the cities of the sky-reaching continent. Yet less than 100 people were qualified to enter the next sacred hall. It was a clear sign of how fierce the competition was. Meanwhile, cities like the Iron Mountain City and the Flame City were located at the edge of the heaven-reaching continent. They were considered barren lands, thus it was extremely rare for a peerless genius to be born here. Basically, every person that entered the next temple would be a peerless genius. They were born in the central continent of the sky-reaching continent, not in the borderlands. Of course, there were occasionally peerless geniuses that appeared in the borderlands, but they were extremely rare. Moreover, more importantly, there was an age limit for those who wanted to enter the next Divine Palace examination. They had to cultivate for less than 1,000 years. To Tai Xiaoyao, his chances were not high. This year, he was already in his 999th year. In other words, after this year, he would no longer have a chance. With his current cultivation, it was almost impossible for him to enter the next sacred hall. However, Yang Hongwu told him this. How could he not be surprised? If he was really given a chance to enter the next round, it would be worth it no matter how big the price he had to pay. If he relied on his own strength, he wouldn't be able to become one of the 100 or so people. After all, those people were all mid-stage and late-stage rulers. Sometimes, the strongest of them could even reach peak rulers or even half-step rulers. They were all in the Tao Lord realm. You don't believe me? Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Xiaoyao and asked. No, of course not. I'm just too happy, said Tai Xiaoyao. He didn't dare to refute. When Yang Hongwu asked, he could only nod. Have you heard of the Sacred Hall? Asked Yang Hongwu. Sacred Hall. Tai Xiaoyao's eyes widened as he stared at Yang Hongwu. Of course, he had heard of the divine token before. It was a legendary item. It was rumored that whoever obtained the divine token would be able to use it to pass the test and enter the next level. In the Sacred Hall, it wasn't just that. One could also obtain a supreme super skill from the Sacred Hall. Young Master, do you have information about the Sacred Hall? Or do you have the Sacred Hall with you? Tai Xiaoyao asked. However, he didn't believe it. If Yang Hongwu really had the Sacred Hall, why would he stay here? Wouldn't he enter the next Sacred Hall? Chapter 1897. Planar Boat. Tai Xiaoyao was taken aback. He didn't expect Yang Hongwu to want this item. Do you want to return to your original plane? Even though the planar boat was powerful and could travel between planes, it was impossible to use it to go to the next shrine. Back then, the master of the planar boat had entered Tongtian by accident. But now, the planar boat had disappeared for a long time. It was very difficult to find it again. It's very difficult to find it. I think it should be possible to exchange information about the planar boat with the divine token, right? Yang Hongwu said. When Tai Xiaoyao heard this, he had to admit that it was possible. The dimensional boat was far less important than the divine token in everyone's eyes. No matter how powerful the dimensional boat was, it was just a treasure that could travel between planes. It was extremely powerful. It would take time to travel between planes. Therefore, this treasure was useless in battle. After all, who would stand still on the battlefield and give you a chance to attack? Moreover, each time the planar boat traveled between planes, it consumed a huge amount of energy. After all, how could a little bit of energy be enough to travel between planes? Therefore, it was very worthwhile to exchange information about the planar boat for information about the divine token. In fact, if someone had a planar boat, it was not impossible to directly exchange it for information about the divine token. Well, young master, are you really willing to exchange information about the planar boat for the planar boat? Tai Xiaoyao asked. What? Do you have information about the planar boat? Yang Hongwu couldn't help but ask when he heard that. If this guy knew about the planar boat, it would be a piece of cake for him to obtain it. The planar boat was what he wanted the most right now. If he could obtain it, he would have to pay a price. Even if he had to give up a supreme treasure, it was still acceptable. I don't, but that old geezer Tai Tulong should know. Therefore, if you can capture Tai Tulong alive, you can obtain information about the planar boat, Tai Xiaoyao said. You have to get information about the planar boat from Tai Tulong. Yang Hongwu narrowed his eyes. This was no easy task. Now that he and Tai Tulong were already mortal enemies, there was no other choice but to kill Tai Tulong. Of course, if he could completely suppress Tai Tulong and beat him half to death, the possibility of him revealing the planar boat under threat of death was very high. That's a little difficult, but it's still doable, Yang Hongwu said. After all, it would be extremely difficult to capture an expert like a late-stage sovereign alive. For such a powerhouse, killing him was much easier than capturing him alive. Tai, what kind of trump card? It's best if you're confident. If you can't, you can find another way. In fact, Tai Xiaoyao really wanted to scheme against Yang Hongwu. In his opinion, if Yang Hongwu and Tai Tulong were able to injure each other, that would be the best outcome. However, the possibility of that happening was very small. But there was still hope, wasn't there? Tai Xiaoyao naturally knew how terrifying Tai Tulong's strength was. He had dominated the Tongtian continent for many years. If he didn't have a powerful trump card, how could he have done it? He knew very well that if it weren't for Tai Tulong, the Iron Mountain City would have been destroyed by someone long ago. The most important thing in Iron Mountain City was the Iron Star, Oregon. It was an important war resource that could be used to forge powerful weapons. The most terrifying siege weapon on the continent, the sky-piercer cannon, was mainly made of Iron Star, Oregon. Iron Mountain City controlled an Iron Star, Oregon. Therefore, Iron Mountain City was much more important than Flame City and Anya City. Without a powerhouse like Tai Tulong, Iron Mountain City wouldn't have been able to protect its Iron Star, Oregon. It was also because of the Iron Star or that Iron Mountain City was stronger than Flame City and Anya City. Iron Mountain City was the strongest among the few cities closest to Iron Mountain City. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that Iron Mountain City didn't have enough strength to forge the sky-piercer cannon, it would have become a first-class city in the Tongtian continent. We'll talk about this when Tai Tulong arrives. There's not much time left. Hand over the city lord's seal. Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Xiaoyao and said, time was of the essence. Although Tai Tulong had fallen into his trap, he would soon find out about it and would definitely be on his way back. If Tai Xiaoyao still wanted to stall for time, he wouldn't mind killing him first. Tai Xiaoyao looked at Yang Hongwu's expression. He knew that if he didn't hand over the city lord's seal, he would definitely die. At this level, there was absolutely no one who was soft-hearted. Even if they were kind, they would never give their enemies a chance. Tai Xiaoyao had no choice but to take out the city lord's seal. He stretched out his hand, and a sparkling and translucent jade appeared in his palm. It was the city lord's seal. He was extremely reluctant to part with it, but he had no choice but to hand it over. Young master, this is the city lord's seal of Iron Mountain City. Tai Xiaoyao was very uncomfortable after handing over the city lord's seal, but he still wore a smile on his face. However, Yang Hongwu didn't care whether he was uncomfortable or not. He reached out, and the city lord's seal flew into his hand. After obtaining the city lord's seal, Yang Hongwu's mind moved, and his massive spiritual consciousness poured into the seal. He discovered that there were actually 2 spiritual imprints in the city lord's seal. Needless to say, one of these 2 spiritual imprints definitely belonged to Tai Xiaoyao. The other was probably Tai Tulong's. Aren't you going to erase your spiritual imprint? Do you want me to do it? Yang Hongwu said coldly. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I forgot. Tai Xiaoyao was shocked. He had erased most of his spiritual imprint, leaving only a trace behind. However, he never thought that Yang Hongwu would discover it. Chapter 1898. Myriad Dragon Mountain. Tai Tulong roared in anger. Damn bastard! How dare you scheme against me? At this moment, he discovered that his mental imprint on the city lord's seal had been erased, so he naturally knew what had happened. That bastard had schemed against him once more. He had killed City Lord Tai Meng for the items in the Myriad Dragon Mountains, and now that he had plundered the Myriad Dragon Mountains, he had returned to the city lord's residence. How hateful! Ever since he had started cultivating, he had never felt so sullen. This time, it was simply too humiliating. This time, he felt extremely aggrieved. Knowing that he had been schemed against, Tai Tulong madly rushed towards Iron Mountain City. Now that his spiritual imprint had been erased, it meant that Tai Xiaoyao wouldn't be able to survive. After obtaining the city lord's seal, Yang Hongwu looked at Tai Xiaoyao with killing intent in his eyes. What do you want? Tai Xiaoyao's face changed when he saw the killing intent in Yang Hongwu's eyes. He didn't want to die. You said that you wouldn't attack me. We're partners now. He was really worried that Yang Hongwu would attack him at this time. He was afraid of dying. Who knew if this guy would keep his promise? He had forgotten to make Yang Hongwu swear an oath or sign a contract. But even if he hadn't forgotten, he didn't dare to say it. If he did, Yang Hongwu would probably kill him. That wasn't something that was impossible. Yang Hongwu took a deep breath and let go of his killing intent. Don't worry, I won't kill you. But if you don't cooperate, don't blame me for being impolite. Tai Xiaoyao was furious at Yang Hongwu's threat. He couldn't vent the anger in his heart. Bastard, just you wait. When you and that old bastard are both injured, it'll be your time of death. Tai Xiaoyao cursed in his heart. After all, humans had anger. Even a rabbit would bite when it was cornered. With such grievances, it would be strange if he didn't have any thoughts in his heart. But Yang Hongwu didn't care. So what if he was angry? So what if he wanted to kill him? Yang Hongwu didn't care at all. Tai Xiaoyao was still of some use to him. After all, Tai Xiaoyao hated Tai Tulong to the core. If Tai Xiaoyao were to strike out at Tai Tulong at the critical moment, he might be able to deal a fatal blow to Tai Tulong. Take this. Yang Hongwu threw out a pill. It was so black that it was impossible to tell what it was. However, Tai Xiaoyao knew that it was definitely not something good. Tai Xiaoyao naturally didn't want it when he took it out. However, he had no choice. If Yang Hongwu wanted him to eat it, he had to eat it. If he didn't, he would die. Overbearing. This was Yang Hongwu's overbearingness. If you don't want to eat, fine, then die. If you don't want to do what I want you to do, sorry, then I'll beat you to death. In front of absolute strength, Tai Xiaoyao was suppressed to the point that he did not have any temper. Even if there was anger in his heart, he had to endure it. Yes, young master. Although he was unwilling to eat this pill, he had no choice but to do so. He knew very well that once he ate this pill, it meant that he would be completely controlled and lose his freedom. After watching him eat the pill, Yang Hongwu released the formation and brought Yang Tianjun and the others in. Jun, this is the seal of the City Lord of Iron Mountain City. Refine it. Yang Hongwu threw the City Lord seal to his son, Yang Tianjun. After all, his main purpose in taking over Iron Mountain City was to help Yang Tianjun become the Iron Mountain. The City Lord of Iron Mountain City could borrow the origin energy of Iron Mountain City to completely perfect his chaotic star body. This would allow his cultivation to recover and reach a higher level. Thank you, Father. Yang Tianjun's eyes widened. He didn't expect Yang Hongwu to do it so easily. Pan and I and Anya Shin were also shocked, especially Pan and I. She and Yang Tianjun had been captured and brought to the City Lord residence. After all, they were very clear about the strength of Iron Mountain City. Moreover, seizing the City Lord seal of a city was extraordinarily difficult. Unless there was an absolute suppression, there was no way to seize the City Lord's seal. It should be known that when a City Lord was in the City Lord residence, the power of the origin energy of the City Lord residence would be extremely strong. Once the City Lord's origin energy was mobilized, his combat strength would be extremely terrifying. If he attacked them at this time, it would mean that he would be going against the entire city. A city in the sky-reaching continent was not like any other plane world. A city here was connected to the lower realm. Therefore, this was actually equivalent to going against an entire world. How could they not be shocked that Yang Hongwu had done it so easily? Powerful. The only thought they had was that he was too powerful. In the entire sky-reaching continent, Yang Hongwu was probably the only person who had such ability. Even the strongest person in the sky-reaching continent, the sky-reaching ruler, might not be able to do it. Is there a need to thank me between you and me? Yang Hongwu smiled slightly. After all, Tai Yao was his son. Being able to help his son and getting him to thank him was very satisfying. Tai Xiaoyao naturally knew Yang Tianjun and Pan and I. However, he had also guessed that Tai Ming had captured Yang Tianjun and Pan and I in order to steal Yang Tianjun's bloodline power. However, he had never expected that Yang Tianjun would have such a powerful father. A powerful and tyrannical father had not given him any chance to kill him. Moreover, it had happened in the City Lord's residence. He hadn't even had the chance to send a message for help. He had originally thought that Yang Hongwu wanted him to refine the City Lord seal and become the City Lord of Iron Mountain City. It was unimaginable that Yang Hongwu would give up the position of City Lord. This thing was extremely tempting to anyone. One had to know that as a City Lord, there would be many benefits. Tai Xiaoyao had personally experienced this point. If it wasn't for the fact that his life was in danger, he definitely wouldn't have given it up. To be able to do this, Yang Hongwu was definitely a terrifying person. He was even more terrifying than Tai Xiaoyao had imagined. How terrifying was a person who could resist temptation? Right now, Tai Xiaoyao didn't have any extra thoughts about Yang Hongwu. He would do whatever Yang Hongwu said because he knew that he didn't have the strength to resist. As for Tai Tulong, although he was strong, Tai Xiaoyao didn't think that Tai Tulong would be able to deal with Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1899. Yang Tianjun nodded and began to focus on refining the seal. Generally speaking, refining the seal of a city wasn't something that could be done in a day or two. However, Yang Hongwu had a way to use the karmic fire of the Red Lotus to help him. The combination of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus and Yang Hongwu's Nine Heavens Divine Dragon technique was very domineering. If it wasn't refined, it would be completely destroyed. Under the suppression of such domineering power, the seal couldn't do anything. Therefore, even if the seal of Iron Mountain City resisted, it would still be refined by Yang Tianjun. It would only take half an hour at most. However, half an hour was still a little too long. In less than a quarter of an hour, Tai Tulong would arrive. However, Yang Hongwu only hoped that Yang Tianjun would refine the seal so that Tai Tulong wouldn't be able to use Iron Mountain City's power to fight against him. Once Tai Tulong lost the power of Iron Mountain City, he would be greatly weakened. Tai Tulong's strength would decrease significantly if he lost the power of Iron Mountain City. Yang Hongwu was very clear about this. While Yang Hongwu was refining the seal, Yang Hongwu casually set up an array formation. Of course, Pan and I was there to protect him. Yang Hongwu himself led Tai Xiaoyao out of the City Lord Mansion and onto the city walls of Iron Mountain City. Yang Hongwu wasn't worried about the other people in Iron Mountain City. This was also why Yang Hongwu wanted to keep Tai Xiaoyao alive. In fact, most people in Iron Mountain City didn't know about Tai Tulong's existence. Only a small number of people knew about him. It was the same for Flame City. Although Huoshan II and the other two were powerful and were the patriarchs of Flame City, very few people knew about them. It was the same for Iron Mountain City. As the patriarch of a city, Tai Tulong couldn't roam around Iron Mountain City all the time like the city lord. He was usually in seclusion or exploring some ancient ruins or mystic realms to obtain some resources. He wanted to raise his cultivation base. As a result, he didn't show his face much in Iron Mountain City. Even some of the new elders didn't know of his existence. If Yang Hongwu left Tai Xiaoyao behind, he would be able to rope in some people and even completely control the Iron Mountain City. After all, Tai Xiaoyao wasn't a fool. He still had a high prestige in the Iron Mountain City. One must know that he was now the city lord. Other than Tai Tulong, he was the strongest person in the city. Those who didn't know about Tai Tulong would think that Tai Xiaoyao was the strongest person in Iron Mountain City. In Iron Mountain City, who are your enemies and disobey you? Yang Hongwu asked Tai Xiaoyao after setting up a formation outside Iron Mountain City. Therefore, he had to kill Tai Tulong's trusted aides first. He couldn't allow them to pose a threat to him. There are 3 elders. They're old Kajer Tai Tulong's trusted aides. They've all been groomed by him. Those 3 elders aren't weak. Although they haven't reached the half-step sovereign realm yet, they're not far from it. Apart from one of them, there are 3 others. The other 2 are in seclusion. Rumor has it that they want to break through to the sovereign realm. He knew that Yang Hongwu's words meant that he wanted to help him get rid of the dissidents. Of course, this was also necessary. Tai Xiaoyao understood this very well. If it weren't for the fact that he wasn't strong enough, he would have taken action long ago. "Bring me there," said Yang Hongwu. "Yes, young master." The elder outside was called Tai Kang. He had always been at odds with Tai Xiaoyao. Back when Tai Xiaoyao wanted to become the city lord, Tai Kang had tried to stop him. That old thing had a very good relationship with Tai Meng. Tai Kang had killed Tai Meng. If it weren't for Tai Tulong, Tai Kang probably would have woken up the other 2 elders to stop him from becoming the city lord. Tai Xiaoyao knew that this old thing also had his own ideas. He also wanted to become the city lord, but that wasn't realistic. After all, that old thing was too old. There wasn't much possibility for him to improve. If that wasn't the case, he would have entered seclusion long ago. In truth, he was the same as Tai Xiaoyao. He also wanted to borrow the power of the city lord's position. He wanted to borrow the power of Iron Mountain City's fortune to increase his cultivation and break through his bottleneck. Thus, after Tai Xiaoyao took the city lord's position, he was very unhappy. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he hated Tai Xiaoyao to the bone. As the saying went, cutting off one's path to wealth was like killing one's parents. Cutting off one's path to cultivation was even more infuriating. "Follow me, young master." Tai Xiaoyao led the way in front. Soon, they arrived at a mansion. This mansion had dense spiritual energy. In Iron Mountain City, it was also the place with the densest spiritual energy. Although it couldn't be compared to the City Lord Mansion, it wasn't much worse. Yes, there was a formation outside. "Young master, this is one of the elders. His name is Tai Kang. This old thing hates me to the bone." Back then, he also wanted to obtain the city lord's position. However, Tai Tulong didn't agree. Tai Xiaoyao said, "My mother's death back then was related to the 3 of them. The great elder is also related to them. If young master can help me kill these 3 guys, I'll be extremely grateful." I'm willing to go through water and tread on fire for young master. There's no need for that. You can be considered as my subordinate now. I won't be stingy to my own people. You'll know in the future that I've always been generous to my own people." Yang Hongwu smiled. "Now, let's go in and meet Tai Xiaoyao." "King." "Young master, there's a formation outside. It won't be easy to enter," Tai Xiaoyao said. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, "Have you forgotten how I entered Iron Mountain City? Have you forgotten how I entered the city lord's residence?" At this moment, Tai Xiaoyao reacted and said, "I almost forgot. Young master is unparalleled in the world. How can a mere formation block young master's path? It's my fault. Please forgive me." Tai Xiaoyao lowered his posture and flattered Yang Hongwu without leaving a trace. Yang Hongwu knew what Tai Xiaoyao was thinking. He smiled and didn't care about it. "Open." Yang Hongwu stretched out his hand and flicked a few pills. These pills were naturally the formation-breaking pills. Yang Hongwu didn't even need to waste his energy to break such a formation. He could easily break it with the formation-breaking pills. The formation-breaking pills turned into rays of light and fell on the formation. This time, the formation was instantly broken. Young master is mighty. Chapter 1900. Boom! With a huge sound, Yang Hongwu kicked the door open after breaking the protective formation. "Who dares to barge into the elder's residence? Are you looking to die?" Hearing the sound, a guard hurriedly walked out and shouted, "City Lord." Seeing the person who came, the guard's face changed. He didn't know why the city lord, Tai Xiaoyao, would come here. Moreover, he was so domineering, not caring about etiquette, and directly attacking the door. The formation outside also seemed to have been broken. The elder was still cultivating. Under normal circumstances, Elder Tai Kang wouldn't open the protective formation. Only when he was cultivating would he open the formation. This protective formation was extremely powerful. Ordinary people couldn't barge in, but the city lord was an exception. If the city lord borrowed the power of the Iron Mountain City, he could naturally break the formation. After all, as the city lord of the Iron Mountain City, he could easily mobilize the entire Iron Mountain City. The power of the Iron Mountain City. Tai Mao was Tai Kang's guard. He had guarded Tai Kang's residence for so many years, and almost no one dared to barge in. This was the first time. And when he saw that the person who came was the city lord, Tai Xiaoyao, he was stunned. He knew what to do. As a guard, he knew a little about the grudges between his master and city lord Tai Xiaoyao. Back then, his master wanted to fight for the city lord's position, but he didn't expect that he would fail. The city lord position was taken by Tai Xiaoyao. The pain in his heart. "City lord, are you here to find my master?" Tai Mao, who had calmed down, looked at Tai Xiaoyao and said, "My master is one of the three elders. Even if the city lord came to visit my master, you shouldn't destroy the door." If it was an ordinary person, Tai Mao could scold them without any hesitation. However, Tai Xiaoyao was different. He was the city lord, and he was very powerful. He wasn't weaker than his master. He didn't dare to offend Tai Xiaoyao. As Tai Kang's guard for so many years, his ability to observe people's expressions was first class. He knew what he should do, what he shouldn't do, when he should say something, and what he shouldn't say. He was very clear on all of this. At that moment, although it was the city master who had forcibly intruded into an elder's residence and was in the wrong, the other party was, after all, the city master. He was not someone that a mere guard like him could offend and denounce. Only his own master could do such a thing and denounce him. His current idea was to first stabilize the city lord, Tai Xiaoyao, and find out why the city lord had come. Then, he would send someone to call his master. "Where's Tai Kang now?" Tai Xiaoyao said, "Tell me, and I can spare your life." At this moment, Tai Xiaoyao knew how powerful Yang Hongwu was. Therefore, he wasn't afraid of being schemed against in Tai Kang's mansion. Even though he no longer had the position of city lord and couldn't mobilize the power of Iron Mountain City, he wasn't afraid. Moreover, they were here to kill anyway, so there was no need to be secretive and long-winded. You, City Lord, why are you doing this? Tai Ermount was terrified. He couldn't believe that Tai Xiaoyao, the City Lord, would actually say such words. Was he trying to start a fight? One had to know that even if Tai Xiaoyao was the City Lord, he would still have to consider dealing with an elder. No need to go through so much trouble. Let's go in. Tai Kang is inside. Yang Hanwu waved his hand and a ray of light shot out, instantly killing Tai Ermao. At that moment, an old man rushed over with dozens of people. These dozens of people weren't weak at all, and that old man's strength had already reached the late stage of Emperor. However, Yang Hanwu didn't take it to heart. Young master, that's Tai Kang's housekeeper, Tai Sifu. Tai Xiaoyao said, this old guy isn't weak at all. He's very loyal to Tai Kang. Tai Xiaoyao, you dare to intrude into an elder's residence? You're provoking him. You're trying to start a fight. Do you know that? Although you're the city lord, this Iron Mountain city doesn't belong to you alone. Tai Sifu shouted. He stared at Tai Xiaoyao, and a trace of killing intent flashed through his eyes. If you retreat now, I can pretend that none of this has happened. Otherwise, you'll have to pay the price. Tai Xiaoyao was infuriated when he heard that. Motherf ****. He was the city lord of Iron Mountain City. Other than Tai Tulong, he was the most powerful person in the city. However, none of these bastards dare to take him seriously. You're just a servant. How dare you be so presumptuous in front of me? You don't know your place. Die. Tai Xiaoyao was infuriated. Intense killing intent erupted from his body as he took a step forward. A terrifying aura erupted from him as he punched out. This punch contained 90% of Tai Xiaoyao's strength. His strength was at the peak of the half-step sovereign realm. He was only a step away from entering the sovereign realm. A punch with 90% of his strength was extremely terrifying. Tai Sifu, although his cultivation was also at the late stage of Emperor, there was still a huge gap between him and Tai Xiaoyao. Damn it, Tai Sifu was terrified. He hurriedly took out his weapon to block the attack. He never thought that Tai Xiaoyao would be so bold. He directly attacked and wanted to kill. Logically speaking, although Tai Xiaoyao was the city lord, he still didn't have complete control over the power of Iron Mountain City. Therefore, he couldn't completely fall out with his master. One must know that his master and his brothers were all elders, and their strength was at the half-step sovereign realm. Together, they could use a supreme treasure to kill a sovereign realm expert. Moreover, offending his master was equivalent to offending the elder group of Iron Mountain City. A city lord couldn't do many things without the support of the elder group. Therefore, Tai Xiaoyao's reaction surprised him. Although Tai Sifu's strength was not bad, in the end, he was still not Tai Xiaoyao's opponent. He was sent flying by a punch, but Tai Xiaoyao did not stop. He attacked again, determined to kill Tai Sifu. It was as if he had made up his mind to kill. Stop! Seeing that Tai Sifu was about to be beaten to death, he was already in despair. At this moment, a voice sounded, and a powerful force blocked Tai Xiaoyao's attack. It was Tai Kang. You old turtle, you finally come out. Tai Xiaoyao stared at Tai Kang. I thought you were going to continue being a coward. Tai Xiaoyao, you've got guts. You dare to come to my residence and kill people? Who gave you the courage? Don't think that just because you're the city lord, I won't dare to touch you. If it weren't for the old ancestor, I would have killed you. Tai Kang was furious. Chapter 1901. Hearing this, Yang Hongwu shook his head and refused. Although your strength is not bad, it is still very difficult for you to kill him. His current strength is not much different from yours. Even if you can kill him, you will have to pay a huge price. Moreover, it is very difficult for you to kill him. Moreover, it's too time-consuming. I don't have that much time. Hearing Tai Xiaoyao's words, Tai Kang looked at Yang Hongwu. This young man was just a divine emperor. Even though he was at the peak of the divine emperor realm, he was still far from being a true divine emperor. However, Tai Xiaoyao had called him young master. Moreover, this young man seemed to be very arrogant, which made Tai Kang very puzzled. At first, he thought that this young man was just Tai Xiaoyao's disciple or a new genius from the lower world. However, looking at Tai Xiaoyao's attitude towards this young man was not simple at all. Tai Kang. Tai Xiaoyao, who is he? Tai Kang said, "You dare to bring an outsider into the Iron Mountain City. What do you want to do?" "Humph. Do I need your permission to do what I want to do?" Tai Xiaoyao snorted coldly. "Old man, it's your honor to die in the hands of young master." Tai Kang's eyes flashed coldly. It seemed like it was true. However, he did not think that Yang Hongwu, a mere divine emperor realm warrior, could kill him. What an arrogant tone. A mere divine emperor realm warrior dares to be so arrogant. Tai Xiaoyao, as the city lord, you dare to collude with an outsider to kill me, an elder. This is treason. After I kill this brat, I'll catch you and bring you to the old ancestor. After saying that, Tai Kang moved. He stretched out his hand and grabbed towards Yang Hongwu. His speed was so fast that people could not see it clearly. Humph! Yang Hongwu coldly snorted and didn't care at all. Although Tai Kang's speed was fast, it wasn't enough to enter Yang Hongwu's eyes. Just as Tai Kang's attack was about to reach Yang Hongwu moved and instantly unleashed a finger attack. A terrifying power was released as if it came from the immemorial time. This finger attack easily blocked Tai Kang's attack. Too weak. How dare you be so arrogant when you're so weak? You're courting death. In reality, Tai Kang's strength wasn't that weak. However, Yang Hongwu had already set up a formation to restrict the other party's strength, and Yang Hongwu could borrow the power of the formation to crush the other party. Originally, Yang Hongwu didn't need the formation. However, in order to end the battle quickly, Yang Hongwu had set up a formation. With his attack blocked, Tai Kang's face changed greatly. Only then did he realize that something was wrong. His cultivation had been suppressed, and he couldn't use all of it. He stared at Tai Xiaoyao and said sternly, "Tai Xiaoyao, you sealed the power of the city and activated the power of laws. Do you know that you're courting death? The power of laws in Iron Mountain City could not be casually activated. It could only be activated in the event of an unstoppable invasion. You can only use it when the time comes. You actually dared to violate the rules left behind by the ancestor. You're dead meat. Do you know that if you regret it now, it's still not too late to stop using it? You can avoid death." How noisy. Yang Hongwu didn't want to be long-winded. Although this old man was strong, when he activated the formation and went all out, not to mention a mere half-step sovereign, even a true sovereign wouldn't be enough. Yang Hongwu punched out fiercely. Boundless magical powers burst forth. How terrifying was the power of this punch. It was like a blow from an ancient Tao Lord. In an instant, it pierced through Tai Kang, leaving a hole in his chest. His heart was completely pulverized. It shattered. His soul also turned into nothingness in an instant. This punch wasn't a simple attack. Yang Hongwu had mobilized the power of destruction. It was the power of karmic fire combined with the law of destruction. It was too terrifying. Yang Hongwu didn't expect that this attack would directly destroy Tai Kang's soul. It was far beyond his expectations. When Tai Xiaoyao saw this scene, he couldn't believe it. It was too terrifying, too powerful. At this moment, the servants of the elder's residence who had recovered from their shock were terrified to the extreme. They looked at Yang Hongwu as if they were looking at a terrifying demon. "Run! The elder is dead. Run!" Suddenly, a voice shouted, "If we don't run, we'll all die here." When this voice came out, everyone frantically fled. However, there were a few exceptions. One of them was Tai Sifu. He shouted and rushed towards Yang Hongwu. "Kill! Kill him and avenge master! Kill!" Their eyes were red and filled with hatred. They rushed towards Yang Hongwu without any regard for their lives. They knew that Yang Hongwu's cultivation was so strong that they were far from being his match. They knew that they would be courting death, but they still rushed over regardless of the consequences. Yang Hongwu was impressed. He was also very impressed. These people were really loyal. However, they still had to be killed. These were all his enemies. Yang Hongwu had never left an enemy who hated him to the bone. Those who deserved to be killed must be killed without any hesitation. Towards the enemy, He must be like the autumn wind sweeping away the fallen leaves. He must not leave any leeway. Yang Hongwu waved his hand and shot out a palm. Suddenly, flames appeared in the sky. Then, they turned into fire dragons and rushed toward them. Wherever the fire dragons went, they were all devoured by the fire dragons and turned into ashes, dissipating between heaven and earth. They were all dead. Not a single one of them survived. This was the power of the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. In a few breaths' time, all those who dared to attack Yang Hongwu were all dead. It was too terrifying, too powerful. He was simply a murderous demon. Tai Xiaoyao took a deep breath. Although killing was normal and exterminating an entire clan was a common thing, he still couldn't help but be shocked when he saw this scene. This was because the method of killing was too terrifying. There was nothing left behind. Because this was the true meaning of not leaving a corpse behind. They couldn't be more dead. He felt that the souls of those people just now were annihilated. This meant that they didn't even have the chance to reincarnate. As such, Tai Xiaoyao was even more in awe of Yang Hongwu. Where are the remaining two? Where are they? Take me there. Yang Hongwu acted as if he had done something insignificant. His expression was very calm. There was no change in his expression. Young master, follow me. Those two old things are cultivating in seclusion together. Tai Xiaoyao walked in front. Soon, he brought Yang Hongwu to the front of a tower. This tower looked very ordinary, but Yang Hongwu felt a trace of special power. Under this tower, there was actually a spiritual vein. Chapter 1902. This pagoda is the sacred cultivation ground of our Iron Mountain city, the Cultivation Pagoda. Only those with outstanding talent or great contributions can enter here to cultivate. It's a pity that this Cultivation Pagoda is controlled by Old Haoyan and Old Haoyan. Tai Kang and those three old things are in control. If not for them, Iron Mountain City's strength would have risen to another level. Tai Xiaoyao explained. Yang Hongwu could see the resentment in Tai Xiaoyao's heart. He reckoned that Tai Xiaoyao would not have many chances to enter the Cultivation Pagoda to cultivate. He had to admit that because of the spiritual vein in the Cultivation Pagoda, the spiritual qi here was very abundant. It could be said that one could make rapid progress. As for Tai Kang and the others controlling this place and not allowing others to enter to cultivate, it was most likely due to their own reasons. Once one's cultivation base reached the half-step sovereign level, one would need vast amounts of spiritual energy to break through. Once someone else entered this place, they would be able to cultivate. If other people entered the Cultivation Pagoda to cultivate, a portion of the spiritual qi would be divided. As a result, their cultivation effects wouldn't be very good. After all, their cultivation was at the half-step sovereign realm. It would be very difficult for them to advance any further. Furthermore, when they cultivated, the amount of spiritual qi they inhaled and exhaled was very frightening. If there were more people cultivating in the Cultivation Pagoda, their cultivation effects would be greatly reduced. Although the spiritual vein here was rich in spiritual qi, it couldn't be extracted all at once. Moreover, if they could really do that, it would be like killing the goose that laid the golden eggs. The gains wouldn't make up for the losses. It was because of these reasons that they restricted others from entering this place to cultivate. As the saying goes, every man for himself, and the devil takes the hindmost. This was a very normal thing. Once others encroached on their interests, they would think of ways to stop them. They would protect their interests. What a great cultivation ground. Yang Hongwu said, cultivating here can be said to make rapid progress. If you can set up a 9 heavens spirit gathering formation, it would be even better. It can gather the spiritual qi in the surroundings and raise the spiritual qi here by a level. Tai Xiaoyao was shocked. He had heard of the 9 heavens spirit gathering array. In the Tongtian continent, there was only one person who could set up a spirit gathering array of that level. That was the legendary Sky Array City Lord, Sky Array Taoist. However, the Celestial Array Priest had disappeared for a long time. Even the people of Celestial Array City didn't know where he went. Celestial Array City was under the control of his disciples. Although his disciples were talented in the Tao of arrays, they couldn't compare to Celestial Array City. Formation Taoists. Moreover, even if he was the disciple of the Sky Array Taoist, he wouldn't easily set up arrays for others. If he wanted to help, he would have to pay a huge price. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to afford it. In fact, the city protection formation of Iron Mountain City had been set up by an elder of Sky Array City. He had paid a great price to set it up. If young master likes it, you can use the cultivation pagoda as you wish after we take down those two old things, Tai Xiao Yao said. In fact, Tai Xiao Yao was very smart. From what Yang Hongwu had said before, he knew that Yang Hongwu wouldn't stay in Iron Mountain City for too long. If he found the boat of the plane, he would leave quickly. Therefore, after taking care of the two old things in the cultivation pagoda and Tai Tulong, Yang Hongwu wouldn't stay for too long. Even Yang Hongwu's son, Yang Tianjun, would be the same. By then, wouldn't Iron Mountain City be his? Even if Yang Hongwu let his son, Yang Tianjun, stay and continue to be the city lord of Iron Mountain City, or leave one person behind, Tai Xiao Yao would still have many opportunities to cultivate in the cultivation pagoda. Moreover, if Yang Tianjun stayed as the city lord this time, if Yang Hongwu could set up a formation, he would definitely set up a powerful spirit gathering formation. Wouldn't that be better? It was a pity that he couldn't get the city lord's position, but there would be plenty of opportunities in the future. Don't worry, although this cultivation pagoda is a sacred place for cultivation, it's not of much use to me. Moreover, I will leave in the future and Iron Mountain City will be yours in the end. Yang Hongwu was very smart. How could Tai Xiao Yao hide his intentions? Tai Xiao Yao, young master, I didn't mean that. My loyalty to young master can be witnessed by heaven and earth. Tai Xiao Yao was terrified when he heard Yang Hongwu's words and hurriedly explained. Yang Hongwu smiled and said, "It's fine, I won't blame you. You don't have to worry. What I said is the truth. All right, we don't have much time now. Tai Tulong will be here soon. Once we kill those two old guys, we'll go to the city wall." Yang Hongwu could feel that Tai Tulong's aura was getting closer and closer. It wouldn't be long before he arrived at Iron Mountain City. Fortunately, he had erased Tai Tulong's spiritual imprint after obtaining the City Lord seal. Otherwise, Tai Tulong would be able to use the teleportation power of Iron Mountain City to quickly teleport to Iron Mountain City. If that was the case, it would be much more troublesome to deal with Tai Tulong. With that, Yang Hongwu entered the cultivation pagoda. Although there were formations outside the cultivation pagoda, and the formations and restrictions here were much stronger than those in Tai Kang's blessed land, in front of Yang Hongwu, they were still like paper, unable to withstand a single blow, and could be casually used. They were easily broken. Tai Xiao Yao was already used to seeing Yang Hongwu's invincible might. After all, the strength and means that Yang Hongwu had displayed before had long exceeded his imagination. No matter what earth-shattering means Yang Hongwu had, he wouldn't be surprised. It was as if it was only natural that he would be surprised. After entering the cultivation pagoda, Yang Hongwu searched around and found the location of the two old men. The two old men were in the two cultivation rooms at the bottom. The spiritual qi in these two cultivation rooms was the densest and closest to the source of the spirit vein. In addition to the two old men, there were a few other geniuses. Young master, these are the geniuses of Iron Mountain City who have just come up from the lower realm. Their strength isn't much, but their talents are extremely high. Every genius who has just come up from the lower realm is qualified to cultivate in the cultivation pagoda for a year. If they don't make any progress, they will no longer be qualified to enter the cultivation pagoda, Tai Xiao Yao explained. Yang Hongwu's eyes lit up. These people were the new geniuses of Iron Mountain City. For Yang Hongwu, this was a good thing. After all, he had to defeat enough geniuses to obtain the teleportation token to enter the heavenly path. Although Yang Hongwu was now on the lookout for the teleportation token, his main goal was to find the planar arc, but the teleportation token to enter the heavenly path was still to be found. He had to be prepared. Kill them, Yang Hongwu said. Chapter 1903. Do you want to live? Yang Hongwu asked the four new geniuses of Iron Mountain City after waking them up. In fact, Yang Hongwu knew that Tai Xiaoyao didn't want him to kill these people. After all, the new geniuses of a city had a lot to do with the luck of the city. If there were no new geniuses in the city, or if the new geniuses were killed, the city's luck would greatly affect the luck of the city. This would have a huge impact on the fate of this city. If his son Yang Tianjun wanted to stay in this world, Iron Mountain City would be his foundation. Therefore, Yang Hongwu still had to think for his son's sake. If not for this, Yang Hongwu was prepared to kill all of them. Who are you? How dare you talk so big? These people were all geniuses, and each of them was incomparably arrogant. How could they stand Yang Hongwu's presumptuous words? Humph! Yang Hongwu coldly snorted as he struck out with a finger. The Jingshan finger was incomparably tyrannical, and the terrifying aura it exuded was enough to force ghosts and deities to retreat. This was the terrifying aspect of the Jingshan finger. Yang Hongwu's current strength was much stronger than before, day and night. The Jingshan finger could frighten ghosts and gods with one finger. This wasn't just a saying. Under the overbearing suppression of the Jingshan finger, these people were deterred by this terrifying aura and couldn't move at all. The stone wall not far away was penetrated by this terrifying finger. The few of them took a deep breath. They would definitely not be able to block this finger attack. If Yang Hongwu wanted to kill them, they would definitely die. Who are you? What do you want? One of them took a deep breath and suppressed his fear. After all, in the face of life and death, everyone had to be afraid. Looking at Yang Hongwu, he felt lucky that this person didn't have any killing intent. You should want to submit to him. Although they didn't want to submit, they knew that they had no choice. Submit. Yang Hongwu said, if you don't submit, you die. We agree. Another person said, but you have to let us know who you are. You shouldn't be from the same place as us. Are you a genius from the Heavenspan continent? He could tell that Yang Hongwu was actually not that old. He was about the same age as them. However, Yang Hongwu was much stronger than them. However, they were all peerless geniuses in their original worlds. Naturally, they would not give up so easily. Although they had no choice but to submit now, they could still make a comeback in the future when they grew up. This was what every genius was thinking. Very well. You all leave the cultivation pagoda first. There will be a great battle later. If you stay here, your lives will be in danger. Yang Hongwu said coldly. However, since you have already submitted, then don't have any other thoughts. Take these pills. Yang Hongwu took out the pills that he had given Tai Xiaoyao. As an alchemist, it was easy for Yang Hongwu to refine some special pills. Yang Hongwu's pills were called mysterious life and death pills. They were not ordinary pills. They could control a person's life and death. In fact, they were similar to heavenly Tao contracts and heavenly Tao oaths. Yang Hongwu had added curse power into these pills. Ordinary people would not be able to dispel it. Unless the other party's attainments in alchemy and curse power surpassed his own, they would not be able to dispel it. These pills were suitable for Yang Hongwu to control some people. Some of them were not too important. It would make it easier for Tianjun Yang to control Iron Mountain City in the future. They did not want to take these pills. They could tell at a glance that these pills were not good things. What? You don't want to? Yang Hongwu's eyes flashed coldly. He did not hide his killing intent. If anyone dared to refuse, Yang Hongwu would not be merciful. Tai Tianling will not take it even if I die. One of them shouted angrily. Then you could go to hell. Yang Hongwu flicked, and a ray of light instantly pierced through his forehead. A mere early emperor warrior dared to be arrogant. He was simply courting death. Killing him was like stepping on an ant for Yang Hongwu. It was as easy as blowing off dust. Now, Yang Hongwu found that his heart was getting colder and colder. He would not be as merciful as before. He would not give any chance to those who dared to resist him. If they did not submit, then they would die. Tai Xiaoyao was a little shocked. However, to Tai Xiaoyao, only one of them died. It was already very good. Yang Hongwu wanted to kill all of them. Let's take it. The remaining people looked at each other and swallowed pills. They had all seen Tai Tianling's death. This person in front of them really knew how to kill people. If they didn't accept it, they would really die. They were still young. Heavens! Their talent was outstanding. However, if they died now, then there would be nothing left. There was only hope if they were alive. Tai Xiaoyao sighed. However, he had already taken the medicinal pills. How could they, who were just a few newcomers, not eat them? All right, let's go out now. Yang Hongwu said. Yes, master. Although they were unwilling, they walked out of the cultivation tower one by one. After they went out, Yang Hongwu and Tai Xiaoyao went to the cultivation room at the bottom of the tower. Looking at the cultivation room in front of him, Yang Hongwu gathered his spiritual power and punched the stone door. There was a strong seal on the stone door, but Yang Hongwu's punch not only destroyed the seal, but also the stone door. Tai Tasong Yun, who was cultivating in the cultivation room, was suddenly awakened. He spat out a mouthful of blood. He was furious. Damn it, who is it? The attack just now had caused him to suffer a backlash, and he was almost seriously injured. How could he not be angry? Yang Hongwu said, Old man, go die. Yang Hongwu said, and took out a long saber. It was the Hong Meng battle saber. The saber slashed towards Tai Tsongyun. The power of the saber was astonishing. Tai Tsongyun was shocked. Who was this person? He dared to break into the cultivation tower and even dared to attack him. He was too audacious and unforgivable. Little bastard, you are courting death. The furious Tai Tsongyun took action. He grabbed his weapon, a horsetail whisk. The horsetail whisk was like a raging river, sweeping towards Yang Hongwu. Chapter 1904. Tai Xiaoyao, you got guts. At this moment, Tai Tsanghai saw that his brother was in danger, and he also saw Tai Xiaoyao. It was clear that Tai Xiaoyao wanted to attack his brother. Tai Tsanghai suddenly punched out, attacking Tai Xiaoyao. Oomph! Tai Xiaoyao snorted. If there were 3 people, he might be afraid, but he didn't care about Tai Tsanghai at all. You're not my opponent. Tai Xiaoyao threw a punch, easily blocking Tai Tsanghai's attack. However, on the other side, Tai Tsongyun was in a miserable state. His strength was not Yang Hongwu's opponent at all, and he was also being suppressed. He was already injured, and under Yang Hongwu's overbearing attack, he had no power to fight back. Yang Hongwu didn't want to waste time. At this time, Tai Tulong was less than 100 li away from Iron Mountain City. This meant that Tai Xiaoyao would soon reach the city. If he delayed any longer, Tai Tulong would have already arrived. Second brother, save me. Tai Tsongyun, who was once again sent flying by Yang Hongwu, was in imminent danger. He knew that he was not Yang Hongwu's opponent. One more attack, and he would die without a doubt. So he could only cry for help. Damn it! Stop! After forcing Tai Xiaoyao back with a punch, Tai Tsanghai attacked Yang Hongwu's back. This was Tai Tsanghai's idea. If he tried to block Yang Hongwu's attack, it would be impossible. The only way was to attack Yang Hongwu and make him give up on attacking Tai Tsongyun. It was a good idea, but unfortunately, he didn't know Yang Hongwu at all. The moment Tai Tsanghai attacked him, Yang Hongwu had already sensed it. Young master, be careful. Tai Xiaoyao couldn't stop Tai Tsanghai anymore, so he shouted out a warning. Yang Hongwu snorted and instantly disappeared. In the next moment, Yang Hongwu had smashed Tai Tsongyun's head. At this time, Tai Tsongyun couldn't be more dead. Seeing this scene, Tai Tsanghai was stunned. First, he was frightened. Then he became furious. Damn little bastard, you killed my big brother. I'll bury you with him. Tai Tsanghai roared and rushed towards Yang Hongwu. Tai Tsanghai was the second brother of the 3 and was the strongest. But in fact, he wasn't smart. He was a simple-minded person. Tai had always been Tai Tsongyun, and Tai were the ones who used to think. Tsanghai, 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 Tsanghai. Yang Hongwu sneered, good timing. Let's kill them together. Originally, Yang Hongwu thought that this guy was going to run away, but he didn't expect that this guy would directly rush over after seeing his brother being killed. This saved Yang Hongwu a lot of trouble, so how could he not be happy? If Tai Tsanghai had run away, he would have wasted some time. But it was a different story. Yang Hongwu snorted. He raised his hands. A flame appeared. Then, the flame turned into a lotus flower. Red lotus of karmic fire. Bloom with a thought. As Yang Hongwu's voice fell, the lotus blossomed and fell on Tai Tsanghai's body in an instant. At this moment, Tai Tsanghai let out a miserable cry. This was the red lotus karmic fire. How terrifying was it? Even a sovereign realm expert couldn't withstand it. Tai Tsanghai was merely a half-step sovereign realm expert. How could he withstand it? Oh, damn bastard. What kind of flame is this? Die. Tai Tsanghai roared. His whole body seemed to be shrouded in water vapor. He cultivated the Tao of the blue sea. His whole body exploded with his strongest power. That was his ultimate treasure, his natal ultimate treasure, the tear of the blue sea. This treasure contained boundless seawater. As soon as this treasure appeared, it was able to suppress the power of the karmic fire of the red lotus for a short period of time. Yang Hongwu was surprised. There was a treasure that could block the karmic fire of the red lotus. This was the first time Yang Hongwu saw such a situation. A good treasure. Unfortunately, it can't stop me. You're too weak. Yang Hongwu condensed his magic power into a giant hand and grabbed at the treasure. You want to take my tear of the blue sea? Dream on. At this time, Tai Tsanghai was already regretting it. Although he wasn't very smart, he wasn't a fool. After the life and death crisis just now, he realized that the youth in front of him was definitely not someone he could deal with by himself. Moreover, there was Tai Xiaoyao beside him. Tai Xiaoyao's strength was also very strong, and he was also the city lord of Iron Mountain City. He could mobilize the power of the entire Iron Mountain City. Although Tai Xiaoyao, as the city lord, couldn't fully mobilize the power of the Iron Mountain City's origin, his cultivation base was also at the half-step sovereign realm. He wasn't a match for Yang Hongwu. With Tai Xiaoyao, it was impossible for him to win. Therefore, he could only escape from here and find old ancestor Tai Tulong. Perhaps only Tai Tulong could deal with this young man and Tai Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao. However, the most terrifying danger had arrived. If he couldn't protect his life treasure, the tears of the vast sea, he would probably die. A cold light burst out from Tai Tsanghai's eyes. With a furious roar, he stimulated all the potential in his body. This was a secret technique that stimulated his potential. It was equivalent to burning his lifespan and vitality in order to raise his cultivation in a short period of time. His strength was enough to contend with Yang Hongwu and Tai Xiaoyao. He could escape in the shortest time possible. However, how could Yang Hongwu not see through Tai Tsanghai's thoughts at this moment? Burning your life force to increase your cultivation base. TSK. Good idea. However, it's still futile. Looking at Tai Tsanghai, who was burning his life force crazily, Yang Hongwu smiled. He had to admit that Tai Tsanghai was very strong at this moment. However, no matter how strong he was, it was impossible for him to escape in front of him. Devouring furnace, come out. Yang Hongwu snorted. A huge furnace appeared. This furnace had a terrifying devouring power. This devouring power instantly enveloped the tear of the blue sea. If I can't get it, I'll destroy it. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.